Hello, my fellow and prospective copywriters. Welcome to this quick dive into what copywriting really is and why it's your secret business and career building tool. Now let's start with a question. What does copywriting mean to you? Does it mean all the stuff you learned at school about grammar and where to put the apostrophe? Does it mean trying to sound like you swallowed a dictionary? You might think your readers want to be educated or even entertained by your sales copy, but they don't. And this is where a lot of copywriters go wrong. Because what your readers really want is for your copy to help them meet a need or solve a problem. So good copywriting should be like a dose of paracetamol. It should fix whatever headache your reader is having as quickly and effortlessly as possible. Which means you don't need to be the next J.K. Rowling, and you don't need to be writing New York Times level prose to be an excellent copywriter. All you need are the tools to understand your customer and then the tactics to persuade them. And that's exactly what you're going to get in this course and a lot more besides. So what is copywriting really? Copywriting is the process of using words to make things sell better, and it has one goal in mind: conversions. In other words, getting people to take an action. So it's actually a marketing tool. Because the way that you frame your words can change how people behave. Whether that's to an email, a web page, a video script, or anything that you're writing. In fact, the way that you frame your words can mean the difference between getting a yes and a no, which is why copywriting is the most profitable skill a business can learn. Because if your words don't move people to action, how are you going to sell anything? You can have an amazing business, but without good copy, it's like trying to drive a Porsche in first gear. You'll never get far. But when you get it right, these are skills that can make a poor man rich, bring in millions of dollars to a charity, and turn a tiny company into a big company. To understand why, let's rewind a little. Once upon a time, to run a business, you'd open a shop, put up an ad, and sell your products over the counter. But then the internet came along and changed everything. Nowadays, to run a successful business, you need to be able to write copy, and lots of it. Because without a physical shop, copy is the only way you're going to get people to pay attention to what you're selling. Time for a copy mission. Now, do you have a business already, or do you have an idea for a business? Think about all the different places you'd need to write copy to promote that business. Things like your website, customer emails, that sort of thing. Pause the video now and write down as many as you can think of. How many did you get? Most people, they get 6 or 7, so well done if you did. If you got more, brilliant. The truth is, it looks a lot more like this. And I'm sure I've missed some out. What's my point? My point is, this is great news for copywriters, don't you think? We've never been more in demand. In fact, demand is outpacing supply. So once you learn how to arrange words to persuade, the world expands around you. From convincing people to buy things from you, or getting a team to agree with your ideas, from getting an investor to fund your startup, or even your boss to give you a promotion. There's not one element of your life that won't be improved by writing more persuasive copy. And that is why I wholeheartedly believe that copywriting is your secret business and career building tool. So congratulations on taking this first step. I hope you're feeling as inspired to get stuck in as I am excited to share my systems with you. And if you've ever wondered why some copywriting is so much more persuasive than others, join me in the next lecture where you're going to learn some of the most seductive words in the English language and how to harness them to make your copy 100 times more compelling. See you there. Hello. Now I know learning anything new can be daunting, especially something as potentially life-changing as copywriting. I mean, there's so much information out there. But with a few simple systems and techniques, you can make the whole process so much easier, which means you can approach everything you write with total confidence. That's why I've designed this course to take you step by step through the copywriting fundamentals, formulas and strategies and tactics that I use every day to run a 5-figure copywriting business. So trust the process, follow it step by step, and let's enjoy this journey together. Take part in the copy missions as much as you can. Seriously, I challenge you to do these because, as I've said before, these are going to help to embed the concepts into your mind so that you can imagine them applied to real world scenarios. So important. Okay, let's dig in. In the last lecture, you learned why copywriting is your secret business and career building tool. Now, as a professional copywriter, it makes sense for you to know a bit about the science behind words themselves. So in this lecture, I'm going to share with you some of the most seductive words in the English language and how to harness them to make your copy better, stronger, and more compelling. Let's dig in. When BT hired a copywriter to rewrite 30,000 words of call centre scripts, it saved a whopping £6 million in revenue. That's because clearer communication improved outcomes and reduced call times. And we all know these 3 words, don't we? But did you know that they transformed Nike from a multi-million-dollar business into a $9.2 billion business in just 10 years? Big figures for such a small thing as words, right? And yet words aren't small. They wield incredible power. They also affect how we think. If police use the word interrogation instead of the word interview when they're questioning a person, one study found that they're more likely to view that person as guilty. One word, massively different outcome potentially. That's because words carry subtle nuance that influence how we think, often without us even knowing it. So it follows that carefully chosen words in your copy can almost hypnotically generate new behaviours in your customers too. In fact, there are certain scientifically proven words you can use to dramatically boost your conversion rates. Copywriters call them power words, words like secret, discover, and free. They're called power words because they trigger an emotional response in the reader and get them to take an action. Let's try some on you with a copy mission. Okay, imagine you're standing in line for the photocopier. You're late for a meeting. You desperately need to cut in front of the other people in the line. Which of the following statements do you think would be more effective? 1. Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the Xerox machine? 2. Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the Xerox machine because I'm in a rush? Or 3. Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the Xerox machine because I have to make some copies? Pause the video and write down your answer. Okay, what did you think? If you answered statement 2, you'd be absolutely right. The I'm in a rush part adds urgency and more people are likely to let you cut in front of the line. But the surprising outcome of this Harvard study, by the way, is that statement 3 got a 93% success rate. And yet it doesn't even make sense. Just saying because I have to make some copies is not a valid reason. So why did it get such a good response? It's because of the word because, which is a highly persuasive power word that encourages people to comply with you, even if there's no logical or valid reason for them to, as we've just seen. Which is why great copywriters use carefully chosen power words to beef up their copy and draw their readers in, and you should too. And by the way, you'll find a lovely long list of power words in the resources section. They're going to help you write punchier, more compelling copy, I promise. Well done. Hopefully now you're ready to plunge into the next section, bite-sized fundamentals. These are the essential building blocks that you need for writing any type of sales and marketing copy ever again. So if you're looking for solid, proven strategies favoured by the world's most successful copywriters, click on my friends and I will see you there. Okay, want to show you some examples of some power words out there in the real world. Now, I really like this example from Apartment Therapy. What are you waiting for? 3 nearly instant miracle cures for boring rental kitchens. This article is essentially design ideas for your kitchen, but they've spiced it up by adding some power words to this headline. Now, the power words here are nearly instant, miracle and cures. Words like instant or immediate or quick or fast, they appeal to our inner need to get things now. We tend to be very impatient and we want things yesterday. So when combined with the words miracle and cures, and those power words, they appeal to our sort of sloth-like tendencies. We all tend to want things without having to work too hard for them, when you think about, miracle diets and, anything that's considered like a magic pill. People love the idea that they can get something with as little effort as possible. So when you combine the phrase nearly instant miracle cures, you get a seriously compelling heading. Now, the word boring is also a power word here because people will do anything to avoid feeling uncomfortable. So the word boring, I suppose that could fit into that category too. Now, if we were to change this headline into what the article actually is, so 3 design ideas for rental kitchens, you get a really quite uninspiring, bland heading that's much less likely to be shared and read. So that's how to use power words in your heading. Let me show you a couple more. Free tools to automate your site growth. Now, the word free is a high emotion word because people love saving time and money. It's one of those words that is going to grab at most people's attention. The word automate, that fits back in the category we just spoke about us being a bit lazy, because we all love things that come to us without having to put too much effort in. And the word growth, that kind of ticks the greed box. We're all trying to accumulate more. We like to increase the stuff that we have, and we're all trying to make more money or get more time, that sort of thing. So let's take out some of the power words here and see what it looks like without them. Let's put tools to grow your site. It's very clear. It tells you what you're going to get if you put your site URL in there, but it's not really that compelling without the power words. One more example. Okay, now I've reversed engineered this one and made it a bit more boring. So how could we make this? What power word could we add to make people think that they're discovering something new? Or maybe that there's something unknown in this article that holds some kind of amazing benefit, because the action you want them to take is to click and read it. What could you put in there? How about the surprising way to be more effective at storytelling? People love to feel like they are discovering something new and unknown. So surprising is a very powerful power word, if you like. Okay, I hope that was a useful exercise, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Hello. In this lecture, you're going to learn why so many companies get their copy the wrong way round. I'm going to share with you a handy technique for avoiding what I like to call all about me syndrome. And I'm going to share with you a neat trick based on an old sales secret that you can apply to literally anything you ever write again. So let's get started. People aren't interested in you, they're interested in themselves. This is a quote I want you to keep in mind as we're going through this chapter. Now, before we get started, let me ask you a question. Have you got one of those friends that's always talking about themselves? I have. They always manage to steer the conversation back to them. It's so frustrating, don't you think? Unfortunately, this is what a lot of companies do when they're writing to their customers. I call it all about me syndrome. Maybe you do it in your writing too. Who knows, you might be surprised. Let's have a look with a copy mission. What I want you to do is imagine that you own a gym. Let's call it Avocado Fitness. Now, I want you to have a go at writing a couple of paragraphs of sales copy to promote it to your customers. Your goal is to make the gym sound as appealing as possible. So pause the video now and write about 30 to 40 words to make your gym sound really appealing for your imaginary website. See you back here in a minute. How did you get on? If you're like most people, you'll have written something a bit like this. Avocado Fitness is the UK's leading gym with a wide range of fitness classes. We are proud of our instructors and unrivaled expertise. We are passionate about our revolutionary approach and we take great pride in our state-of-the-art facilities. The problem with this is it's all about your company and not about your customer. So it's hard for people to get excited about joining your gym because they can't visualise what's in it for them. Notice how it uses the word we a lot. This is a dead giveaway. And it's the mistake way too many businesses make when they're writing their sales copy. Let me show you another version. And by the way, please don't worry if your copy isn't exactly the same as mine. The key is just to shift the focus so it's away from you as a company and more towards what your customers' goals are. So let me show you mine. When you join Avocado Fitness, you'll find only the most cutting-edge classes. The instructors you'll meet know exercise inside out, so set your goals as high as you like. And when you join our gym, you'll find everything is fresh out of the lab, so you can refresh your workout as often as you like. This one knocks the other one out of the park, doesn't it? It's much more compelling. See how instead of talking about the company, the main focus is on you, the reader. So there's a lot more of the word you in there and less we. Did you switch the focus too? If so, good job. If you didn't, don't worry, you're going to get another chance to practice this at the end of the lecture. So when you're writing your copy, use less of the we language, things like we are, we will, we believe, and substitute it for more you language. Things like you'll get, you'll find, you can, that sort of thing. It's a handy technique that's going to transform your copy. WIFM, otherwise known as What's in it for me. This acronym is basically the question everybody has in their heads when they're reading your copy. They're thinking, what can I get out of this? Even if that's on a subconscious level. And it's a neat trick based on an old sales secret that you can use to avoid all about me syndrome. And when I say everyone is thinking it, I mean literally everybody, whether they're reading about dog treats or bicycle tyres or online file storage. They're wondering what that product or service can do for them on a personal level. It's a universal truth you can apply to pretty much everything you will ever write again, whether it's an email, a web page, a report, any kind of sales and marketing copy. And when you use it, your writing will be 100% more interesting to your reader because it puts you directly into your customer's shoes, so you can more easily write for their needs, wants, and challenges. Why not try using WIFM in your next email? Instead of writing it all about you, try reframing it so it's using less we language and more you language. And then it becomes more about what your customer wants rather than what you want. And just see what happens. Okay, let's recap what you've just learned. You've just learned how to write customer-focused copy by using more you language. You've learned the importance of switching your mindset to what's in it for me, to WIFM. And you've learnt how to put yourself in your customer's shoes to write more compelling copy. I hope you found this lecture useful and already feel like you're getting excellent value for money. Next up, I challenge you to a bonus mission. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, and I really hope you do, is to make the copy more compelling by applying the what's in it for me principle you've just learned. See you there. Okay, friends, imagine you're writing copy for a London-based web design agency. This is them, and they've asked you to rewrite their about page for the website. At the moment, it's not very engaging. They feel like they're not really connecting with their audience very well, and they're not getting as much work as they would normally do. And they feel that if you rewrite their web page, it might attract more of the kinds of customers that they're looking for. So, this is the copy you need to rewrite. At Blue Tank Web Design, we are experienced professionals dedicated to providing high quality and affordable web development. We have a long history of delivering stellar projects to clients all over the world. We service a wide range of business sectors, and we pride ourselves on our innovative approach to design and unparalleled commitment to customer service. As well as being a bit of a mouthful, let's face it, it's too company-centric. So you need to go through, swap the language from we language to more you language, and see how you get on. Okay, see you back here in a minute. How did you get on? Did you manage to flip the focus around a little bit? So it's less about the company and more about you and the reader? That's what you're aiming for. So let me show you mine. At Blue Tank Web Design, you can rely on our skillful team to build you a high-quality website that perfectly fits your style and budget. And when you work with us, you'll join hundreds of happy customers from all over the world. Whatever business you're in, let us show you our innovative approach to design. And when it comes to customer service, you won't find a more committed team. See how I've flipped the key points around to make it more customer-centric? Have you done this too? Well done. If so, it sounds like you've got this concept locked down. Now you know that people are motivated by selfish drives, you're going to learn one of the most important rules in copywriting. So if you've ever wondered how to turn features into benefits, click through to the next lecture, where I'm going to help you write more powerful marketing messages that get people taking the kind of action you want them to. See you there. Welcome to a quick peek over my shoulder video. You know how I talked about how a lot of companies talk about themselves too much? It's very, very common to see this on people's about pages especially, where they talk about their accolades, what they're proud of, what they've achieved, and not about what their readers will get out of buying or using what they're selling. And it's company-centric when it should be customer-centric. And this is a great example. These guys, they're obviously doing really good stuff, but this piece of copy, it uses 7 different instances of we language. And remember, that's a dead giveaway when you start lots of sentences with we are, we have, we do. And it ends up sounding like that person that you get stuck next to at a party who's really boring and just talks about themselves and isn't interested in you, never asks you any questions. And you just switch off and you're desperate to get away. And it's exactly the same with your copy. So let me show you how I would correct that on a different website. Now, these guys, they offer IT support. And I'm just going to highlight this sentence here and we're going to rewrite this. So it says, currently, we work in partnership with our clients to proactively support their IT infrastructure and help them realise their business aims and objectives. Now, it doesn't sound like they're talking to me as a potential customer. It doesn't sound like they're chatting to me in a coffee shop. So I would change, first of all, this, so we work in partnership with our clients. I'll just put you, because the clients are the people reading this copy. We work in partnership with you to proactively support your IT infrastructure and help you realise your business aims and objectives. It's a very simple tweak, but can you see how it just instantly makes more of a connection with you as a reader? Because you can see what's in it for me. Remember, that's the question everyone has in their heads when they're reading anything. What's in it for me? And this, by doing this, it helps to spell it out. Now, it's not just we language that you need to change when you're trying to write copy that's more customer focused. Because what a lot of companies also do is they kind of do what I call trumpet blowing, which is They think they're great, they've got loads of awards, and they might be delighted to share that with everybody, but they forget that people don't really care about those rewards, and they don't care that you're delighted. They want to know what that means for them. How does it translate into answering what's in it for me? So these guys, they're an award-winning cosmetic dental practice in London. Fair enough, that's fine, it's great to say that. But they say it again down here below, and they also say how proud they are. So the Harley Street Dental Studio is an award-winning practice located in the heart of London's famous Harley Street. We are delighted to welcome new patients to our practice, and we are very proud of our achievements and successes. We have a highly trained and skilled team of dental professionals with many years of experience, and we provide a stress-free, relaxing experience for our clients. Now, let me see how I would rewrite this to make it connect more with my reader. Okay, so the Harley Street is an award-winning practice located in the I'll leave that for now. We are delighted to welcome new patients. I would just, instead of saying we are delighted, I'd put we are looking forward to welcoming you, not new patients, to our practice, and we are very proud of our achievements and successes. Now, that doesn't really work for me for that sentence. It doesn't kind of link in neatly, so I'm going to take that out because we've already said that you're award-winning. That is enough. We don't need to keep reinforcing how happy you are that you're award-winning, because it doesn't mean anything to me. We have a highly trained and skilled team of dental professionals with many years of experience. Okay, so I'm thinking, so what? So let's apply the so what test to that. What does that mean? Well, for me, if they're highly trained and skilled, I probably think that I'm going to be in safe hands. So I might put, we have a highly, I'd first of all, I'd change our highly trained and skilled team of dental professionals with many years of, have many years of experience. So you can be confident you're in the best hands. And then I just neaten up this last sentence because that is a benefit. That's great. And you can be sure you'll always have a stress-free, relaxing experience. So that's really just changing it from we language to you language. So let's read that back. The Harley Street Dental Studio is an award-winning practice located in the heart of London's famous Harley Street. We are looking forward to welcoming you to our practice. Our highly trained and skilled team of dental professionals have many years of experience, so you can be confident you're in the best hands. And you can be sure you'll always have a stress-free, relaxing experience. That's just a lot more engaging. It feels warmer. And as a reader, I'm going to see what's in it for me. So I hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. Now, in the last lecture, you learned that anyone reading your copy is secretly wondering what's in it for them. I'm going to show you how to answer that question so you give them the answers they really want to hear. So in this lecture, you're going to learn how to turn features into benefits like a true professional copywriter. I'm going to share with you the simple question that you can ask that will magically transform even the trickiest feature into a benefit. And I'm going to share with you how to dig even deeper so that your copy has a real competitive edge. So let's get started. Do people want to buy the drill? Or is it actually the hole they want? Do they want to buy the latest pocket sprung mattress or the good night's sleep? Do people want the grass seeds, or is it really the lush green lawn they want? The truth is that people don't care about products and services, nor do they care about the features or technical specifications of those products and services. They only care about what it can do for them and the results that they'll get from using it. So you need to sell the result, not the product. If you wrote only about features, it would be like telling someone to buy this bike because it has blue tyres. Blue tyres are obviously a feature of this bike, but they're not a benefit. Yes, okay, features are important, but they're not the hook. Let's explore this a bit more with a copy mission. Have a look at the features of this backpack. What I want you to do is pause the video and see if you can think of one benefit for each of these features. Pause the video now and write them down. So, how did you get on? Here are a few of my ideas. Don't worry if yours weren't exactly the same. For instance, we've got a rain cover. The benefit of that is it keeps your gear dry even in torrential rain. It's got an earphone port so you can have hands-free music. It has a hidden security pocket so you can keep your valuables safe from pickpockets. It's got expandable volume so you have versatile extra space when you need it. And it's got an LED light so you can be safe and be seen. Now, if you managed to flip some of these features into benefits, then well done. Don't worry if you didn't, because here is my secret weapon. And it's called the So What test. Let me show you how it works. This car has ABS anti-lock brakes. Clearly a feature. So what? You'll have more control of your car, helping to prevent accidents. Benefit. See how it works? Let's try another one. This shampoo contains panthenol. Feature. So what? Penetrates the hair shaft for thicker, shinier hair. Let's take a look at this with a copy mission, but we'll look at it on a service-based business. So a business that doesn't sell products or things, it sells services. In this case, it's a virtual assistant agency. So its services are telephone, admin support, emergency cover, and lifestyle management. Let's see if we can apply the So What test here. Feature, telephone services. So what? No matter how busy you are, never miss a call again. Benefit. Admin support. So what? Leaves you free to get on with what you do best. Benefit. Emergency cover. Feature. So what? No need to panic when someone calls in sick. We are always on hand. Benefit. Lifestyle management. Feature. So what? We can also help with personal tasks to simplify your life. Now, when you're writing your copy, what you want to do is interlace both features and benefits as much as possible so people can visualize how those features will help them in their lives. Here's an example of some copy for an electric toothbrush. As you can see, it lists the features. It's got a round brush head, and then right next to it, the benefit of that feature. So a round brush head for a superior clean. It's got an intelligent brush for real-time feedback. And it's got a pressure sensor for healthy gums. As you can see, when you interlace both, you get much more compelling copy. Now, don't stop there. What you need to do is keep asking so what, so that you can dig out even deeper hidden emotional benefits. And these emotional benefits are the ones that really grab people where it counts. So let's go back to our car example. This car has ABS anti-lock brakes. Feature. So what? You'll have more control of your car, helping to prevent accidents. Benefit. And then I ask, so what again? This car will keep your family safe on the road. So on a tangible level, the reader's thinking, okay, I'm going to have ABS brakes. Great. But on a benefits level, I'm going to have more control of my car. But what I really care about is that I'm going to have peace of mind. My family will be protected. Can you see how continuing to ask so what creates more of a connection with the reader? And ideally, you want these deeper benefits to connect to the dreams and goals of your target reader. And I'm going to show you how to do that a bit later on when we talk about personas. Meantime, let's have a few more examples. Our software comes with file recovery. Feature. So what? You can easily recover lost or deleted files. Benefit. Then I ask, so what again? Never worry about accidentally deleting a file again. This shampoo contains panthenol. Feature, so what? Penetrates hair for thicker, shinier hair. Benefit. Then I ask, so what again? Beautiful hair that gets you noticed. Why does anybody want thicker, shinier hair? Because they want to look more attractive. It's human nature, we can't help it. An exercise app with a new workout every day. Feature. So what? Banish boring workouts from the comfort of your home. Benefit. Then I ask, so what again? Look your best with an exercise regime you'll finally stick to. Again, this is about looking good and tapping into our craving to look attractive. Now, I highly recommend that you print out this grid from the resources and you can use it to fill out for your own projects. And then here's what to do. First of all, once you've printed out the grid, you write a list of your features. Whatever you're writing about, list them all out, all the technical specifications and facts. Then you go through and apply the so what test to translate them all into benefits. And then keep asking so what so that you uncover those deeper benefits. Now, when you're ready to write and you sit down, you've got all of your messages in one place in your grid. So you can swirl them throughout your copy as much as possible. And if I were you, I would always open your copy, whether it's a website or an email or a brochure, with the deeper benefits, because those are the things that are going to hook people from the get-go. You want people to instantly go, oh yeah, that's really engaging to me. That's really why I want to buy this product. Rather than opening with boring or dry facts. Always go for the jugular. Always go for those deeper benefits first. So remember, features tell and benefits sell. Next up, I challenge you to a bonus mission. Okay, my friends, it is time for a bonus mission. Now, what I want you to do is read through the copy that I'm about to show you for ovens. As you will see, it's very feature heavy and rather boring, and it's not going to make anyone want to buy an oven anytime soon. So what I want you to do is ask so what about each of the features to turn them into benefits, then rewrite the copy to make it benefit-led. Here's your copy for ovens. This AEG oven features top and bottom heat functionality, hot air steam technology, variable dual zone grill, fan grilling and a self-cleaning system. So boring, right? Now pause the video, ask so what about each of your features and then rewrite the copy to make it more benefit-led. Pause the video now and I will see you back here in a moment. And how did you find that? Okay, let me show you mine. Discover incredible baking, grilling and roasting with a multifunction oven from AEG. Master new flavours and impress your friends with a steam oven, or spend less time cleaning with an oven that cleans itself. Can you see how this is more benefit-led? So instead of talking about the self-cleaning oven, I'm talking about an oven that cleans itself. Instead of talking about all the features about the oven, I'm saying what you can do with those features, the results, which is more incredible baking, grilling and roasting. So well done, keep up the good work. Click on because we're going to look at how to turn features into benefits for B2B businesses. A lot of people find this quite difficult because B2B businesses are quite dry, but with a few simple tricks, I'll show you that that's absolutely not the case. So see you there in a second. A lot of B2B businesses get things wrong by assuming there are no personal benefits in their products and services. It's easy to see why, especially if you're writing about something like truck hire or warehouse door hinges or, I don't know, supply chain management software. The problem is, if you focus purely on the business benefits, you're missing the opportunity to grab at the heartstrings of your buyers. After all, it's people who buy things, not concrete buildings. So this is a reminder that people in B2B businesses eat pizza and they binge watch Netflix, just like you and me. Here's a great quote from a Think Google study. B2B purchasers are almost 50% more likely to buy a product or service when they see personal value, such as opportunity for career advancement or confidence and pride in their choice. So as copywriters, it's important that we look for ways to spark emotion in the people we're writing for. Let's get to grips with this with a copy mission. Now I want you to imagine you're writing for a busy IT manager. This is him, this is your target customer, and he's looking for some software to help his team handle more inquiries. He's just ridiculously busy and he needs some help. So you write this. Reduce friction with software designed to increase speed and efficiency and turn your team of agents into experts. It's good, but it could be even better. Pause the video and list some personal benefits that your customer might gain from buying this software. Remember to apply the so what test to dig down into those deeper benefits. Pause the video now and list them out. All good? Okay, let's unpack this together. So this software reduces friction. So what? That means less problem solving and less stress. It increases speed and efficiency. So what? Means you can do more in less time. And it turns your team of agents into experts. So what? Well, you're going to have happier customers, you'll make more profit, and that will mean more personal recognition for you. Remember, by continuing to ask so what, you'll uncover more of those emotional benefits. So now you've got some really nice extra messaging that you can weave into your copy to make it resonate even more with your IT manager. So you might end up writing something like this. Work smarter, not harder, with software designed to increase efficiency. Firefly speeds up your processes so you can get more done in less time and take a lunch break once in a while. And it turns your team of agents into experts for happier customers and healthier profits. So your IT manager is going to more easily be able to picture what's in it for him, which means your copy is more likely to generate a sale. So be sure to make the personal benefits in your B2B copy as clear as you can. Remember, you're selling to a pizza-eating human being, not a faceless organisation. Okay, let's recap what you've just learned in this lecture on features and benefits. You've learned that people don't care about products themselves, they only care about the results. You've learned how to flip features into benefits by applying the so what test. And you've learned how to keep digging to uncover those priceless emotional benefits, the ones that connect more with your customers. Congratulations, you've just completed an epic lecture on features and benefits, and you're now well on your way to writing sparkling sales copy. But let's not stop here. In the next lecture, you're going to learn how to harness the incredible power of emotion and get your readers eating out of the palm of your hands. See you there. Okay, I just want to show you a couple of examples of some nice benefit-led copy out there in the world. And let's reverse engineer it so we can understand how they got to it. Now, Squarespace is a really good example. So one of their features is they offer award-winning design. That's great. But, what does that actually really mean for me? So if we take that back to our so what grid, we place it in the features column, we ask so what, we get stand out with a professional website, portfolio, or online store. So award-winning design is a very factual thing, but it doesn't mean a lot until you think, well, if they've got award-winning design, then my website's probably going to look more professional. You keep asking, so what? And you look like an expert right from the start. Because what's the benefit of having a professional website? Well, people are going to trust and respect you more. So that's the deeper emotional benefit. So what they do on the page is they lead with that deeper emotional benefit, because that's the bit that will hook the customer. And the feature is very, very small, almost greyed out here. And then below that, we've got, again, more lovely benefits and some fantastic call to actions below that. So really good example. Another good example is this copy here for head tennis rackets. Now, I'm not expecting you to read this yourself right now, but I have included it in the resources section, so you can, in a moment, you can go and check that out. And what I've done is I have highlighted the bits that are benefits in blue and the bits that are features in red. And that will show you how they have intermingled them throughout the copy to present the logical and the emotional benefits of buying this tennis racket. And it becomes, as a result, a very effective and persuasive piece of copy. So I hope that's useful. So do go and check it out, and you can download this So What grid and fill it out for your own projects. I hope that was useful, and I'll see you over in the next lecture. Welcome back, friends. In the last lecture, you learned how to turn features into benefits so that you can answer the question, what's in it for me, as effectively as possible. So now you know how to grab your reader's attention. How can you make what you're selling truly irresistible? Well, the answer lies in emotional triggers. So by the end of this lecture, you're going to know how to get people eating out of the palm of your hand using the power of emotion. You're going to know the non-salesy way to grab people's attention every time, and you're going to know the secret to show, don't tell. Check out this quote from legendary copywriter Gary B. Emotions are the fire of human motivation, the combustible force that secretly drives most decisions to buy. When your marketing harnesses those forces correctly, you will generate explosive increases in response. What Gary means is, we don't buy things because we need them, we buy them because we want them. That's because wanting is a natural human impulse. In fact, one Harvard study says that 95% of our buying decisions are made subconsciously. And it's why someone buys a brand new car that depreciates in value the moment it drives off the forecourt, instead of buying a perfectly good second-hand car. It's the same impulse that drives us to wear makeup, to buy nice clothes, to buy the new iPhone. We don't need any of these things, but they appeal to our inner craving to look attractive or signal higher status. If this ad was really just about hair conditioner, it would say, this product gives you soft, shiny hair. But instead it says, get up to no good with hair that's so good. So what it's really saying is this product will make your life more exciting. So people will buy it not just for their hair, but because they hope it will make their life more fun. So how can you inject emotional wallop into your writing? First of all, you need to decide, how do you want your reader to feel? Let's say you're writing about virus protection. So you might want your reader to feel the frustration of getting a virus while they're actually reading your copy, because that frustration will prime them for your solution. So you could write something like, are you sure your laptop is properly protected? We'll come on to some more examples in just a moment. Now you've chosen how you want your reader to feel, you can shape your copy to make it happen. So let's say you want your reader to feel intrigued. You could start your copy with a did you know question. Something like, did you know the Back to the Future script was rejected 40 times? Maybe you want your reader to feel inspired. So you could transport them to a dream scenario. Imagine yourself on holiday, cocktail in hand, while your virtual PA answers the phone. Or maybe you're writing about home insurance and you want your reader to feel a bit unsettled. So you could paint a picture of something they want to avoid. What would happen if you locked yourself out in the middle of the night? So you see, using different opening lines, formats, and styles can inspire different emotions. Here's an example of some emotional copywriting for a savings account. I picked up this leaflet the other day in a supermarket. Everyone has big dreams, grand plans, and things they say one day to, and everyone wants to make sure their money is working just as hard as they are to make those dreams a reality. Notice how this opening copy isn't talking about interest rates or banking terms and conditions or anything really to do with the savings account. It's all about making you, the reader, feel inspired to save and maybe a little excited to sign up to this savings account and save for their dream. Okay, time for a copy mission. I'm going to present you with some scenarios, and I want you to write an opening line to evoke a specific feeling. Let's start with this one. Imagine you're writing copy for a photography site, and you want to encourage users to upload their photos. So you want to make them feel curious and inspired, curious enough that they'll sign up and share their pictures. Pause the video and write down a quick sentence. Think to yourself, how might you open your copy to evoke that feeling of curiosity? Pause the video now and we'll come back and compare notes. What did you think? Here's some copy for the website 500px. So the headline, Get Global Exposure. That clearly paints a hugely positive picture in the reader's mind of what could potentially happen if they share their photos here. They could be seen all over the world. Then it opens the first sentence with the word imagine, which is a fantastic way to spark people's imagination and get them picturing their life with your product or service, or in this case, with signing up to this membership site. And it tends to infuse your copy with sort of positive, it kind of evokes that whole feeling of, what if? What if you did this? Imagine what your life could be like. Let's try another one. Okay, your target customers are stressed out small business owners. They're really busy, they've got to do their own accounts, it's a real drag, and they dread doing those accounts. I know I do. Pause the video and write a headline for some accounting software that makes their lives easier. Remember, you want to try to take their pain away. Pause the video now. Here's some copy from FreshBooks, which you may or may not know. They make very, very easy accounting software for small businesses. And they open with the headline, Small Business Accounting Software that makes billing painless. Job done. There you go. It spells out that it's going to remove your pain. What more do you need? So everybody wants things that are easy, that are going to remove blockages, pain points, challenges. And this absolutely makes that very, very clear. I hope that was a useful exercise. Click on to the next section where we're going to gallop through the secret to show, don't tell. Don't miss it. Now, when we talk about using emotion in your copy, it doesn't mean you can just tell people how to feel. It's a bit like trying to tell someone that you're funny when actually all you needed to do was tell them a joke. Let me explain. Okay, imagine you're writing copy for a new ride at a theme park. You're tempted to write something like this. The new Astronomica ride is really exciting. Now, do you feel swept away with excitement at that statement? Of course you don't. But if you describe the ride as combining the breathtaking experience of a flying roller coaster with 3D virtual reality, the Astronomica ride looks and feels as if you're shooting through space. You're definitely going to get the sense that this ride is exciting. So using detail adds colourful, vivid pictures in the minds of your readers. And therefore it's much more likely to evoke a feeling, an emotion that spurs them to buy. You'll need to use more words to create this effect, of course, but it helps your customer to imagine experiencing your product or service, which is your goal. Here's a great example from the LL Bean clothing website. We love winter, frozen lakes, deep snow and bluebird powder days, and we love it even more when we spend it together. That's why we design gear and clothes for getting out there with cutting-edge technology for staying safe and warm. Can you see how the detail paints a really appealing picture of cold days and cosy times spent with friends? So rather than just writing about a range of warm clothing, it recreates a moment we've all felt in winter, which is the perfect feeling to have when you're shopping for winter clothes, right? Earlier on, I promised you a tip that would help you grab anyone's attention, so here it is. When you're writing your copy, think to yourself, how can I help my reader solve a problem? Or how can I help my reader get more of what they want? If you keep asking this, you're always automatically going to hit that emotional push button and that reader will pay attention. It's a great way to snag people's attention without feeling cheesy or overtly salesy. And of course, you can use it in any copywriting, whether you're writing an email or some web copy or a report or a brochure, anything. Just think, how can I help my reader? Okay, let's recap what you've learned across the whole lecture. You've learned how to shape your copy to add emotional impact. You've learned how to grab anyone's attention simply by being helpful. And you've learned how to use detail to evoke genuine feeling. I think your key takeaway from this lecture is to remember that making your customers feel something is key. This is the icing on the cake to your features and benefits, and it's the thing that's going to give your copy that extra edge. Now, if you've ever wondered how to expertly define your ideal customer, join me in the next lecture. Don't miss this, because the more tightly you can draw this person in your mind, the better you can develop copy that sparks the right feelings and emotions. Click through now and find out for yourself. See you there. Hello! In the last lecture, you learned how to harness the power of emotion to write sales messages that are mind-bendingly persuasive. Now, before you start flexing those emotional muscles, we need to rewind a little and get to know our reader. So in this lecture, you're going to learn how to create a razor-sharp customer persona, 3 sneaky tactics for getting inside the minds of your customers, and I've got a bit of a bonus mission for you where I'm going to show you how to shape your copy to hook your ideal customer once you've created your persona. This is super handy, so let's get started. Let's imagine you sell grass seed and your target audience is golf course greenkeepers. You need to make up a fictional customer. Let's call him Phil. Phil is 42 and married with 1 daughter. He's head greenkeeper at a well-respected golf course. Now you can picture Phil, you can sell better to him. But let's go beyond the typical demographics of age and gender and job title. What we need to do here is step into his world. What are his challenges and pain points? What are his dreams and goals in life and work? The answers to these questions will help you understand what motivates him to choose your products. So here are 3 sneaky tactics you can use to get hold of this information. 1. Social media. People use social media as a forum to gripe about problems they're having or boast about successes and swap knowledge. So go to networks like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and run a search for your target audience. What are people talking about? What do they like or dislike about products or services like yours? Delve into groups, listen, and follow relevant hashtags, and you'll get an instant window into the minds of your customers and what they truly want from you. Tip 2. Check out review sites like Amazon for comments about products like yours. Scroll through the comments on industry blog posts, relevant videos and articles. And again, look out for what people are talking about. What are their challenges? What are their expectations? What do they want more or less of? These are the things that are going to help you build your persona and also that you can address in your copy. It's all extremely useful intel. My third tip is to actually go out and talk to people. Talk to your colleagues, peers, sales teams, and of course, if you can, your existing customers. Can you see any patterns or recurring themes in the kinds of questions they're asking? If you have a genuine interest in finding out what niggles people, it really helps you get under the hood and really helps you develop a good understanding of your target customer. And if you don't have customers yet, you can metaphorically come up with your customers' responses using your persona. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's better than guessing. Copy power up. Use the language of your customers. As you're doing your research, make a note of all the memorable messages you come across, using the exact words and phrases of your customers. Not only is this going to make your writing more vivid, but it's going to help to gain your readers' respect and trust. People don't want to be spoken to in technical jargon or marketing language. They want to be spoken to like real human beings. For instance, nobody said, "This auditing software is a groundbreaking solution to our internal procedural and operational compliance needs." But they might say something like, "We don't dread auditing anymore. This software makes compliance easy." So use these real statements in your headlines, in your body copy, in your call to actions, because it makes your writing a lot more effective. Okay, my friends, time for you to complete a copy mission. What I want you to do is have a go at choosing your own audience. Choose a field that you'd like to write for, or maybe one that you know already, and make up a customer. Pause the video and think to yourself, who is the ideal person that would want to buy my product or my service? Write it down, find a free stock image of what that person might look like, and I'll join you back here in a second. Okay, now you're ready to imagine yourself in his or her shoes. Use this guide to build your persona. You might have some information already about them, or you might want to use one of those 3 tactics that you've just learned, or all of them. Try to fill out this form as much as possible. Okay, you might not find everything, but do your best. You can always download this grid, by the way, this template, from the resources section, if that's easier. Pause the video now and have a go. I hope that was a useful exercise. Trust me when I say that just by doing this, just by filling out this grid, you are way ahead of most other businesses and copywriters, because most people don't even come up with a persona, let alone go into the effort of creating a grid like this. So congratulations. Here's a quick copy power-up tip for you. Now you've got your persona in mind, print it out, put it on and pin it onto the wall so that you can glance at it every now and again. This will help keep your copy consistent so it always clicks with your reader. Here is a super polished example from American Express. Please don't worry if yours doesn't look like this. It's just to give you an idea. Okay, so now you've got a really good persona. You can use it to hook your customer like a freshly landed salmon. Let's go back to Phil, our golf course greenkeeper. So you read somewhere, maybe on a Facebook group while you were doing some research, that he's struggling with patchy grass. The course is looking ugly and some of the players are complaining. Now, if Phil is driven by pride, perhaps you learned that he's entered some industry awards, you might write a headline like this: "Create camera-ready turf that outshines the competition." However, you might discover that Phil is paid on performance, so maybe his pay is based on increasing new memberships to the club. So you might write a headline like this: "Boost club memberships with grass that delivers year-round playability." Or maybe you learn that the club is reducing its costs and Phil is massively overstretched. He's got too much to do and not enough time. So you could write a headline like this: "Cut maintenance time by 50% with a faster growing grass." All of these headlines are selling the same grass seed, and they're all targeted at golf course greenkeepers. But as you can see, the better you know your customer, the better you can use the right words to appeal to their emotions and to hook them. I hope that gives you a good idea of how to shape your copy so that you can better appeal to your target customer. Okay, let's quickly recap. You've just learned how to conduct research to create a strong, realistic persona. You've learned how to write more compelling copy using your customer's language. And you've learned how to frame your copy once you've created your persona for ultimate persuasion. I really hope you enjoyed this lecture and now feel confident about creating personas. You're well over halfway into the fundamentals section, so please pat yourself on the back because you're making excellent progress. Now, if you've ever wondered how some copywriters manage to inject a little extra magic into their words, this is it. In this next lecture, I'm going to show you how to make your reader feel like you're in the room, just having a nice chat with them and making them feel a bit special. So I shall see you there. Welcome back. You've just learned the crucial skills for creating a powerful persona and how to hook that ideal customer with your words. I hope you found it useful. Now, in this lecture, we're going to develop your sales copy style, and I'm going to teach you how to write conversational copy. This is so important because conversational copy has become the language of business. Not only is it easier to understand, but it builds a rapport with your reader and therefore makes what you're writing sound more natural and therefore more credible. So let's get stuck in. By the end of this lecture, you will know the simple trick that will make your copy 100% more interesting. You'll know 5 instant tips for writing more conversational copy, and you'll know the one thing you absolutely must do to nail truly convincing sales copy. Let's get started. Imagine you're in a coffee shop enjoying a slice of delicious berry cheesecake, and you're chatting with a good friend. You've just taken on a new client and you're explaining what they do. Would you say this? MadeUpCo's drag-and-drop website builder utilizes an integrated e-commerce platform and responsive themes, allowing users to create an optimal viewing experience without any technical knowledge. Seriously, nobody talks like that. Your friend is going to lose the will to live. So it begs the question, why do so many people write like this? As soon as they put hand to keyboard, they sound completely unnatural, like robots, which makes their copy hard for people to read. And when that happens, your readers lose interest and your copy becomes useless at selling anything. The simple trick? Write like you're actually in that coffee shop with your friends. In other words, write like you speak. Writing in a conversational tone changes everything, and it's the only way you're going to get people to read and absorb what you're saying. So forget everything you were taught in school and write like you speak, because when you do, your writing will be more interesting and you're going to be 95% ahead of most copywriters. So keep it casual, even if you're selling B2B products. We're going to come on to that a bit later. Time for a copy mission. Now, what I want you to do is have a go at rewriting that really boring MadeUpCo copy. It doesn't matter if you don't understand what they do. Just be creative and just try to rewrite it as if you're talking to your friend in that coffee shop. Pause the video now and have a go. See you back here in a minute. How did you find that? Did you manage to make it sound more casual and conversational? Let me show you my version. Let's compare notes. With MadeUpCo's drag-and-drop website builder, you can build beautiful, responsive websites and online stores in minutes. No coding required. See how this is instantly more compelling? By making your copy more conversational, it sounds less robotic and more like you're talking to a human being, which of course you are. In a nutshell, conversational copy boosts conversions. So write like you speak. And here are 5 tips to help you craft more conversational copy. 1. Always write for one person. You want to make your reader feel like you're addressing them personally. So instead of writing, "Thanks to those of you who completed the survey," just write, "Thank you for completing the survey." Otherwise, it sounds like you're talking to a crowd. Tip 2. Use simple language. If people have to decode what you're saying, then they're not absorbing what you're saying. So don't try to be clever with long, complex words, and don't assume that more words is better. This is a mistake a lot of people make. So in a nutshell, be helpful and use simple words, and be generous and keep it short. If in doubt, imagine you're talking to a classroom of kids. Time for a final copy mission. Okay, what I want you to do is replace each word in this list with something easier to understand. I'll give you the first one for free. So instead of advantageous, you might write helpful. Pause the video now and write down one more conversational alternative for each of these words. Go on, give it a try, and I'll see you back here in a minute. All done? Here are some of my alternatives. So instead of facilitate, you could have ease or help. Instead of leverage, you could have use. Instead of optimum, you could have best, greatest, or most. Participate, take part. Instead of subsequent, why would you not use later or next? Much easier. And instead of with exception of, except for. The last one is a bit of a wild card. Let's circle back around is an example of business jargon. And business jargon is just blah. There's no room for it in copywriting. So just eradicate it completely, or should I say, get rid of it completely, and just replace it with plain English. So instead of let's circle back around, just write, let's talk about that tomorrow. Tip 3, ask questions. Posing questions helps your reader process what you're saying more intensely, which automatically makes your writing more persuasive. So instead of writing something like, you are invited to the launch of Tom's Burger Hut on Saturday, you might say, free on Saturday? Love burgers? Join us for the launch of Tom's Burger Hut. Tip 4. Use short sentences and paragraphs. We don't tend to talk in long, rambling paragraphs. So what you want to do is break long sentences into parts. Keep them nice and short. You want to aim for no more than 13 words per sentence, or much less, if you can. Remove sentence bloaters such as really, very, almost, and probably, because they don't add much to what you're saying. And yes, you can start sentences with the words and, but, or because. In a nutshell, if you'd say it in conversation, you can say it in your copy. Tip 5, use contractions. Contractions make your copy sound more human. So instead of we are, you'd write we're. She is becomes she's. You will becomes you'll. Are not becomes aren't. So instead of saying we are going to the cinema, you'd say we're going to the cinema. Without them, without contractions, your sales copy can end up sounding quite wooden and forced. So use this surprisingly powerful trick to engage your reader. Copy power up. Now, my tip is to record yourself talking about your topic, then write down exactly what you said. And this will guide you towards a much more conversational style. It's a great little tip that's going to help improve your conversational copywriting. And once you've finished writing, a really nice tip is to read your copy aloud. If you find that it doesn't sound natural after you've written it, rewrite it. Also, keep an eye out when you're reading other people's copy. You'll soon start to notice how jarring something sounds when they don't use these casual techniques. Writing like this gets easier with practice, so go out there and have fun. Okay, quick recap time. You've just learned that conversational copy will make your writing 100% more interesting. You've just learned 5 tips for writing copy that sounds authentic, personal, and engaging. And you've just learned to always read your copy aloud to get the best tone and flow. Congratulations, you've now completed the fundamentals section. But let's not stop there, because there is a lot more good stuff for you to discover. So join me in the next lecture all about setting your goal for repeatable success. See you there. Hey friends, you know when I talked about using contractions in your copy to make it sound more conversational, to make it sound more chatty, like you're having that conversation with your friend in the coffee shop? Well, I wanted to show you some examples. Now, quickly, let me clarify what a contraction is. Instead of saying do not wait, you'd put don't wait, or instead of we are going, you'd put we're going. So what I've done in this paragraph here, this is some copy for some time tracking software. I've taken the contractions out. So let's read that. That is a quote from one of our customers, and it is something we hear a lot. Your business runs on time. It is the fuel your team uses to start, create, finish projects for yourselves and your clients. You have got to make sure every minute counts and can be counted. Now, to me, that sounds really jarring. It sounds odd because people don't tend to spell out exactly what they're trying to say when they're talking. They contract those words. So if I just refresh this page to show you what it looked like originally, we get the contractions put in. So that's a quote from one of our customers, and it's something we hear a lot. Your business runs on time. It's the fuel your team uses to start, create, finish projects for yourselves and your clients. You've got to make sure every minute counts and be counted. So hopefully you can see there just how important contractions are to writing conversationally. I also wanted to show you an example of how you can start sentences using the word and. And I know this goes against perhaps everything that you learned at school, your English teacher taught you, but it's totally okay to start sentences with and like this, and it can do more than sense. And it says it down here as well. And with dog pass, your small pooch won't set off the alarm. One more quick example. Now, I like this one because it really sounds like this makeup artist is talking. They've used very sort of colloquial language, the kind of language that people use every day. So it really sounds like, rather than boring language written for, perfect English, it sounds like someone talking. So, introducing 4 looks for everyday mood and moment. Each colour curated grab and go kit enhances your natural beauty in a flash. Easy to use and easy to choose. This is finger smudging, multitasking, makeup on the go. So it just sounds like this makeup artist is talking. I can just imagine her saying that. And that is the essence of conversational copy. It's sounding like a real human being that people can connect with. And they're more likely to want to carry on reading your copy and find out more about what you're trying to sell. I hope that was useful. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. You've just completed the fundamental section, so congratulations, you are almost ready to go. But before you start, there's one thing you absolutely must do before you write a single word. It's very, very simple, but I promise you it will make all the difference to anything you ever write. So in this lecture, you're going to learn the importance of setting a crystal clear goal before you write a single word. You're going to learn a 3-point process to keep your copy on track and guide you to success. And I'm going to show you how to shape your copy to spur people to take action. Start at the end. You can't write compelling copy if you don't know the goal of your content. Each paragraph and each sentence should contribute to achieving that goal. So, if you want to write copy that converts, you've got to set your goal before you begin. Just like an athlete needs a training plan to become a world-class performer, you also need a plan to keep you focused. I mean, you wouldn't start planning your holiday without choosing a destination first, would you? So here's a 3-point plan for keeping your copy on track. Before you write a single word, ask yourself this: what do I want my reader to know after reading my copy? What do I want my reader to feel as they're reading the copy? And finally, what do I want my reader to do once they've finished reading my copy? This process will help you get clear about your intentions and stop you getting sidetracked. Okay, let's put this plan into practice as we go with a copy mission. Okay, so what I want you to do is either download this template from the resources or grab a piece of paper and copy this out. And then join me back here in a moment. Are you ready? Okay, so now have a think about a piece of copy that you'd like to write. It could be an email to a customer, or it could be a blog post, or it could be an announcement. Whatever it is that you want to write. Think about it and fill out the I am writing a bit. And now let's create your plan as we go through the lecture. Ready to go? Great. So, first up, what do you want your reader to know? Pick one big idea that you want your reader to take away from reading your copy. So it could be something like 5 ways to land your next job. Or it could be, we're running a training event on how to write business plans and you're invited. Or it could be something like how to bottle your own drinks. The trick is to just share one idea, not 2, not 3, just one, and do it very clearly and concisely. That way your reader is much more likely to pay attention to you. Now we need to ask, how do you want your reader to feel? This is because we want to stir something in them that goes beyond logic and evokes those deep down emotions which fuel action. And once we've chosen a feeling, we can shape our copy to make it happen. Let me show you how. Okay, maybe you want people to feel curious. So let's say you're trying to get people to come to your launch event or your training event. So you could start with an opening statement that begins, what if? Like this. What if you could map out your entire business plan on one sheet of paper? That way you're stoking their curiosity. Or maybe you want them to feel angry. Anger can be quite a good motivator. So you could open with something that highlights something they feel is unfair or unjust. Have you been paying too much for your car insurance? Maybe you want them to feel excited, so they're fired up to buy from you. Let's say you're a public speaking coach. You could paint a picture of what someone's life would be like after being coached by you. Imagine closing your speech to a standing ovation. That's going to make you feel excited, right, as you're reading it, so you're much more likely to buy from them. Can you see how it works? Can you see how different statements and different opening lines help to shape people's emotions? Have a play around with your copy and think about which words you could use and which statements and questions you could pose to evoke those specific emotions. Okay, finally, you need to ask, what do you want your reader to do? Now, a lot of copywriters sometimes fall down here because they forget that if you don't tell people what to do next, they're just going to go off somewhere else. So you need to be very clear and tell them exactly what to do, like this. Start a conversation, subscribe now, download Skype, get Spotify free. Always, always add a call to action to anything you write. In a moment, I'm going to share 5 tips for writing an irresistible call to action. But for now, pause the video and spend a few moments just filling out your own plan. And I'll see you back here in a second. How did you get on? Here's mine. So I decided that I wanted to write a sales email. And what I wanted my readers to know was that I'm running a training event on writing business plans and my reader is invited. So that's the no. And I wanted them to feel curious. I wanted them to feel like, wow, could I really put my entire business plan onto one sheet of paper? So that they're more likely to want to buy a ticket. And what I wanted my readers to do was to click the link to the website for more information. So now I've got that plan very clearly written down. My copy is much more likely to succeed in achieving its goal. Now, in a minute, I'm going to share with you how to write truly irresistible call to actions. So join me there. How to write an irresistible call to action. Your call to action is not a time to be shy, folks. You need to tell your reader exactly what to do, how to do it, and that you want her to do it right now. And here are 5 tips to help you get your reader taking action. Tip 1. Be direct and use active language. Your call to action needs to be short, simple, and strong. You're looking to command the reader rather than gently suggesting action. So use verbs and active language like these. Clean up your inbox. Sign up. Get started today. Click here. Download now. Tip 2. Be interesting. You want to grab people's interest by offering something that solves or even aggravates a problem. Something like join now and boost productivity. Or download this guide and end the pain of indigestion forever. Or maybe your call to action could add a bit of humour like this one from MailChimp, learn more about brains. Tip 3, use power words. Remember these good old power words? These are scientifically proven to compel people to action. Words like new, discover, act now, and free. So apply them liberally to your call to actions. And don't forget you can download that lovely long list of power words in the section 1 resources. Tip 4, hint at urgency. You can improve your conversion rates by making people feel like they could miss an opportunity if they don't sign up right away. So use phrases like this: don't miss out, sign up before midnight, buy now to get free postage. Tip 5, remove risk. When something is easy to do and doesn't involve any risk, your readers are much more likely to do it. So you can use words like register now, no credit card needed. Full money back guarantee. And here's a nice one from Netflix. Watch anywhere, cancel at any time, join free for a month. So make your call to actions as simple and risk-free as possible. Let's quickly recap. You've just learned why you need to have a crystal clear goal before you write a single word. You've learned a simple 3-point plan to keep your copy on track, and you've learned how to write exceptionally persuasive call to actions. Well done for ticking off another lecture. You're making excellent progress. Now, if you've ever wondered or wished that there was some kind of magic formula that would make writing copy easier, then I'm here to tell you those formulas exist and they're waiting for you in the next lecture. So click on and I'll see you there. Welcome back. You've just learned the importance of setting a clear goal before you write a single word of copy. Now I've got a question for you. Have you ever sat down to write something and just stared at a blank screen and just thought, where the hell do I start? It happens to the best of us. But here's the thing. Successful copywriters don't try and reinvent the wheel every time. They use tried and trusted, scientifically proven formulas to write their copy. So by the end of this lecture, you're going to be able to confidently and easily organise anything you write again. You're going to have 2 of the most reliable and effective sales formulas ever invented installed in your brain, and you're going to be able to write 10 times faster and with higher likelihood of success. So let's dig in. I want you to think of the formulas I'm about to show you, which by the way have been used by some of the world's best copywriters for at least the last 100 years. I want you to think of them like your 2 new best friends. Whenever you're writing a sales page or a pitch or an email sequence, these guys are always going to have your back. So let's welcome PAS. PAS stands for problem, agitate, and solution. Have you ever noticed how people will do anything to avoid hassle or pain? It's why expert marketeer Dan Kennedy calls PAS the most reliable sales copy formula ever invented, and you can use it like a step-by-step template. So first you lay out your reader's problem. This could be a single sentence. Then you want to agitate it by tapping into something that your customer is angry or resentful about. And then you're ready to step in with a solution. So let me show you PAS in action. Let's say you're writing some sales copy for a new dating app, something a bit like Tinder. You start by laying out the problem. Looking for someone special but find dating apps too superficial? Then you want to agitate it. You want to big up the problem, rub salt into the wound, like this. Dating apps can feel so impersonal. Continuous swiping makes it tough to get to know people. Sometimes it feels like you'll never meet anyone. And then you're ready to step in with that metaphorical band-aid, also known as the perfect solution. Dates for you is different. By messaging each other before you swap photos, there's more chance to build a connection. So it feels less like a talent contest and more like a real conversation. Can you see how the PAS formula works now? You want to big up the problem, rub salt into that wound, then be there, ready with the solution. All these formulas can be used in any type of content, any type of copy that you're writing, even something as concise as a social media post, like this tweet, for example. It uses PAS. It's not just you. Marketing has gotten harder. That's the problem. It's getting tougher to see strong results, and you know you have to do something to keep up. That agitates the problem, can you see? And then it steps in with the solution. We've got you covered. And just below that image, if you were to see it online, there's a link to the blog post. So very clear use of PAS in this tweet. Okay, time for a copy mission. I want you to imagine you're writing sales copy for an imaginary car valeting business. Let's call it Rainbox Valeting. This is you. You're washing the cars. Your company visits people at home or at work and washes their car for them. These people are generally very busy and they don't have time to get to the car wash. Pause the video and use the PAS formula to fill out these blanks. Pause the video now and let's meet back here in a moment and compare notes. Well done. How did that go? Here's my version. Does your car need a proper clean but you never have time to get to the car wash? Problem. Driving a grubby car never feels like you're winning, but getting it washed is just another thing on your endless to-do list. Agitate. At Rainbox Valeting, we come to you. We bring the water, the soap and all the elbow grease, so you can enjoy that fresh car feeling whenever you like without taking time out of your busy day. Solution. Great job if you managed to write something along these lines. As always, it doesn't matter if yours isn't the same as mine. It's just the principle of knowing how to lay out the problem and then agitate it and then come in with the solution. If you've done that, congratulations. Next, I'm going to show you the second formula, ADA. ADA is simple, memorable, but incredibly powerful. A bit like a really, really cool big sister who's always got your best interests at heart. And ADA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. Let's say you're writing an email. It's a special offer. Maybe you're offering 20% off all photo processing this week. Here's how you would use ADA to write that email. First of all, you would want to grab their attention. So you open with a bang. And you open that with a bold statement, a fact, or a question. That's always going to grab your reader's attention. 2, you want to hook their interest about what you're selling with features and benefits. Remember, features and benefits explain what the product is and how it can help that person. Then you want to stoke desire. You make them feel desire by showing them their life with your solution. So this is where you paint a picture of success. And finally, you spur your reader to action and tell them what to do next. Remember, that's your call to action. Okay, let me show you ADA in action with this copy for Apple Watch. Live a better day. That clearly grabs my attention. It's a bold, benefits-led statement that latches onto my attention because who doesn't want to live a better day? The next part of the formula is to spark my interest, and it does that by communicating the main selling points, the features that are going to help me live that better day. So it's got built-in GPS, it's water resistant to 50 meters, it's got a lightning fast dual core processor. I'm definitely interested at this point. So now I'm interested, it needs to make it irresistible to me. They need to make me desire it. So it paints a picture of my life with this watch. So it says full of features that help you stay active, motivated and connected. And who doesn't want to feel those things? Everybody wants to be more active. They want to be less lazy. We all want better habits. And we all want to be more connected while we're doing it. So the final piece of the Ada jigsaw here is action. And it's very clear Apple want me to click either the watch the film or explore the interactive gallery. Both of those are going to lead me closer to a purchase. Pretty effective, isn't it? Remember, Ada stands for attention, interest, desire and action. Okay, well done folks, you've just ticked off another lecture, so let's quickly recap what you've learned. You've learned that formulas are elastic, so you can apply them to anything to make your writing faster and more effective. You've learned that PAS is powerful because people will do anything to avoid pain or hassle. And you've learned how to use Ada, which is an effective way to grab your reader's attention every time. Next up, a bonus challenge for you. I want you to have a go at reverse engineering some copy that I found online using the Ada formula. See you in just a moment. Okay, it's time for a bonus mission. This one is designed to test your knowledge of formulas and to give you more context for what you've just learned in a real-world scenario. In a moment, I'm going to show you some sales copy for a project management software company called Basecamp. You may have heard of them already. They write really excellent copy. What I want you to do is pause the video and write down which formula you think they've used and where. So here's the copy. Pause the video now, have a read through, look and see where they've used a formula and note down where you think they've used it. And we'll meet back here in a minute and compare notes. Okay, now could you see any formulas here? And if so, which one did you spot? Let's run through it quickly. The answer is they used the Ada formula: attention, interest, desire, action. Let's go through how they did this. First of all, they grabbed my attention with a surprising headline: "We've been expecting you." Next, it stokes my interest by laying out the benefits of using this software. Everything will be in one organised place. Everyone will be on the same page. Projects will get off the ground faster. Okay, so it grabbed my attention, and now I've read the benefits, I can see that these are relevant to me and I am definitely interested. So the next part of the formula is to make me desire it. And what Basecamp do here is very clever because they use a couple of different tactics. One, they use social proof. So they say 4,639 businesses signed up last week to get results like these. So it's almost creating a bit of FOMO, a bit of fear of missing out. I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting left behind here. These guys are racing ahead of me by having Basecamp. I need this in my life. But also it paints a picture of how much better my life could be with the software by saying 89% have a better handle on their business. So I can see how it will improve my business. And it also uses numbers, which, as you know, add real credibility. The final piece of the formula is action. So it tells me exactly what to do. There is absolutely no ambiguity on this page about what I need to do other than put my email address in. And because Basecamp know that people sometimes can be a bit reluctant to enter their details, their contact details, it makes the call to action risk-free by offering me a free 30-day trial. So all in all, this is a very effective way to use Ada. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but this page also uses PAS. Did you find it? It's up here in the first sentence. All growing businesses run into the same fundamental problems. That's laying out the pain, then it agitates that pain. Hair on fire, buried under email, stuff everywhere. And next it's ready with a solution. The good news, Basecamp solves them. As you can see, formulas are elastic and you can apply them in many different scenarios and in many different ways. You can even blend them together like they've done here for an extra specially convincing piece of copy. I hope that was a useful exercise. Do join me in the next lecture if you're looking to write better headlines. See you there. Good to see you back. You've just learned 2 repeatable formulas that are going to help you write powerful, results-driven copy. Next up, you're going to learn how to write headlines. This is so important because while 8 out of 10 people will read your headline, only 2 out of 10 will go on to read the rest of the copy. So you kind of need to get it right. So in this lecture, you're going to learn. So by the end of this lecture, you're going to know the fail-safe 4 use technique for writing sticky headlines. You're going to learn how to annihilate boring headlines forever, and you're going to have some quick tips for writing winning headlines. So let's get started. The main goal of your headline is to get your first sentence read. Take a few seconds to read and absorb that sentence. Now cast your mind back to the last article or Facebook post you clicked on. What was it about that article that tugged at your interest? I bet it offered something useful or solved a problem for you, or it might have just stoked curiosity in you. Either way, it probably fell into one of the 4 U's. Now, the 4 U's is a really memorable checklist that's going to power up your headlines. And it works like this. Your headline needs to tick off one of these 4 U's. So it needs to be either urgent, it needs to be unique, it needs to be ultra specific, or it needs to be useful. If you want to create headlines that seduce people into clicking, sharing, reading, opening your copy, you need to do at least one of these. So let me show you what I mean. Let's start with urgency. So what you don't want your reader to do is to put off reading your article or saving it for later, because let's face it, that generally means they'll never go back to it. So adding urgency to your headline encourages them to click and open it right away. So you can use things like the perfect way to grow your Instagram today, or 8 best industries for starting a business right now, or 12 new TV shows you need to watch this fall. So this is a good place to deploy those explosive power words again, words like now, today, quick, and ASAP, because they make people feel like if they don't click on it now, then they're going to miss out. So create urgency if you can. If not, let's move on to unique. Now, people value novelty. Our brains just love new things. So if you write in a way that's fresh and surprising, your readers are just much more likely to pay attention to you. So try to avoid writing boring run-of-the-mill headlines like this: Starbucks launches new unicorn frappuccino. And instead write something more like this: Starbucks unicorn frappuccino tastes like sour birthday cake and shame. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm much more likely to click on that second one, mostly because I want to know what sour birthday cake and shame tastes like, but also because it's just a lot more interesting. I think the key here is just to imagine that if you stumbled across your headline on Facebook or Twitter or wherever it is, whether you would click on it. And if you would, then you are going in the right direction. The third U is to be ultra specific. People love to know what they're going to get out of reading something. So if you write a headline like this, that's great, how to become a successful freelancer, but I mean, it's a bit meh, it's a bit boring, right? I mean, how many different articles have you read like that? So we need to add some detail to make it more specific. So if we add on this, how to become a successful freelancer and quit your desk job in 30 days, it's just instantly more relevant, more engaging, and it makes me curious. So try to be as specific as you can with your headlines. My final tip is to be useful. Now remember in the lecture on emotion I said, if in doubt, if you're ever stuck, be helpful. It's the guaranteed way to grab your reader's attention. So try to offer a mouth-watering benefit in your headline. So something like this: the complete guide to using stock photos in your marketing, how to completely reset your Google login across every device, or hate mornings, design a productive afternoon routine instead. Don't make the mistake of trying to be clever or witty. Just be helpful and you can't go wrong. So that's the 4 U's checklist for writing headlines in a nutshell. Remember, you want to try and be one of these 4 U's. You want to be either urgent, unique, ultra specific, or useful. Now, headlines can be a fairly weighty subject, but if you stick to these principles, I promise you, you can't go wrong. Time for some quick-fire headline tips. Okay, so 1, ask questions. Questions are effective because they force your reader to mentally respond. 2, include numbers. People love a numbered list like this: 9 productivity tips for ridiculously busy people. 3, keep it simple and direct. How to cook bacon in the oven, for example. It works really well because it's easy to read and keeps the reader moving forward. Tip 4, make a bold claim. Become a millionaire by age 25. Who wouldn't want to read that? Tip 5, but if you're going to make a bold claim, don't use clickbait. Don't overpromise something, then underdeliver in the blog post. This is a classic example. Supermodels do this to look amazing. Click to know what they are. Okay, time for a copy mission, so you can try these principles out for yourself. Okay, see if you can improve this headline by making it more unique. Try to make it sound more original and fresh. Pause the video and write a headline now. Here's mine. How to cook a 3-course Japanese meal for less than a trip to the movies. So we're saying the same thing pretty much, but we're just making it sound a lot more unique and a lot more interesting. Let's try another one. How could you make this headline more urgent? 12 office desk hacks to improve your productivity. Pause the video and have a go now. Here's mine. 12 office desk hacks you can do right now to improve your productivity. Can you see how by adding the words right now, just add a little bit of urgency and give people that extra kick to actually read the article now? And how about this one? Reasons why most people fail their first driving test. How could you make this more specific? Remember, numbers are great in headlines. Pause the video and have a go now. Here's my version. 5 reasons why 77% of people fail their first driving test. Can you see how it just makes it more credible, more interesting, more engaging? Well done. I hope that exercise helped. Here's a very quick, before we sum up, here's a quick headline power up. Now, I always recommend to people that they brain dump at least 20 headline ideas. And that way you can vote for your best, you can share them with your friends, and you can mix up the best bits. And that's the best way to kind of crystallize your ideas and find the best headline for the job. 2 is to use an online tool. Now, I like to use Headline Analyzer by CoSchedule because it scores your headlines and it increases their shareability. It's quite an addictive tool and it's good fun. And it's just a nice extra thing to do, just to kind of sanity check your headlines as you go. Okay, let's quickly sum up this lecture and what you've just learned. You've learned how to use the 4 U's technique for writing headlines that grab readers' attention. You've learned, hopefully, how to never write a boring headline again. And you've learned some tips and tools to make writing your headlines easier and quicker. Thank you so much for watching this lecture on how to write headlines in a nutshell. The next section is a series of pocket guides to help you write your next project. You can choose from emails, web copy, press releases, or case studies. So I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, it's time for another bonus mission. Now, this is where I want you to put your newfound headline skills to the test. What I want you to do is, in a minute, I'm going to show you a list of headlines and you need to make them better. But the way I want you to do that is to apply the 4 U's technique. So I'm just going to give you a quick refresher on what that is. So your headline needs to be one of the following: urgent, unique, ultra specific, or useful. If it's urgent, it needs to have some kind of time sensitivity to make people feel like if they don't act now, then they could potentially miss out. So you could use words like instant or immediate or act now or quick or fast, that sort of thing. Or you want your headline to be unique. And the way to do that is just to be a bit different with how you approach it. So instead of, writing a very general, vague headline, try and paint a picture in your reader's mind, something that might catch their surprise. Or you want your headline to be ultra specific. Now, this is where numbers come in really handy. So don't be afraid to add statistics or data or percentages to your headline, or just more detail in general. Remember, people want specifics. And finally, you could be useful. You could make your headline something that will improve your reader's life. So a good way to do that is maybe a how-to guide or a list of tips. So you want your headline to tick off one of these 4 U's. Okay, I'm going to show you the list now. Here we are. So pause the video now and have a go at getting creative and making these headlines better using the 4 U's technique. See you back here in just a moment. Okay, how did you find that? Did you manage to improve these headlines? Did you make them more unique or ultra specific or useful or urgent? I'm going to show you mine now just to give you some ideas of how I approached it. But again, it doesn't matter if yours aren't the same. Why not pause the video for a couple of minutes and just check them out and just see how I've done them and see if you can work out which of the 4 U's I applied to these headlines. Then I'll see you in the next section, which is a handy set of pocket guides to structure your future writing project. You're going to find it very handy. See you in a bit. Hello everyone. I wanted to share a quick headline hack with you. This is a really good one that's going to speed up how you write your headlines, as well as giving you a whole new set of handy headline templates. So first of all, what you need to do is grab yourself a copy of a really well-known magazine. Good ones to go for are Cosmopolitan or Men's Health, or even something like Elle Decoration or Reader's Digest. The key is that the magazine is very popular, very well known and very successful. But I would say Cosmo and Men's Health are particularly good for raw, persuasive headlines. Actually, you don't have to buy a physical copy, you can just Google them. Just go to Google Images and type in, say, Cosmopolitan cover, and you'll get loads like this. Now spend some time examining the headlines. First thing to note, and the reason we're doing this is because the more well-known and the more successful the magazine, generally the more formulaic the headlines will be. Why? Because they work. Because formulas work at grabbing people's attention and they work at selling more magazines. If you think about it, without these headlines, nobody would buy them. And these are huge, internationally renowned magazines with huge advertising revenues. So the headlines are designed to grab your attention when you're whizzing past in the supermarket and get you to pick up the magazine and buy it. And that's why these big publishing giants like Condé Nast and Hearst, that's why they spend an absolute fortune on getting them right. Okay, let's break down some examples from this month's issue of Men's Health magazine. Bulletproof your heart, undo the damage of holiday excess. I really like this one. First of all, it's crammed with power words. Bulletproof, damage, excess. These are all hard-hitting, gritty, visceral words that deliver impact. It's also benefit-led. It's offering you a way to mitigate holiday excess, which is pretty much giving you a permission slip to go and eat and drink as much as you like, laze about as much as you like while you're on holiday. It's that magic bullet again that we're all looking for. So this headline is dramatic, it's descriptive, and it appeals to pretty much anyone who overindulges on holiday. That's all of us then. In fact, the next few headlines hint at similar benefits. So we've got rock hard abs, our fastest ever fat burning plan. We've got add 1 kilo of muscle in 4 weeks, express gains for busy schedules. Both of these are offering a benefit, but that benefit is amplified with the promise of getting that benefit quickly and with minimal effort. We can't help but be seduced by quick fixes. Everybody wants things now. They don't want to wait around. They want that magic pill. Nobody wants to spend months dieting and exercising. That's boring. So these headlines are really tapping into our need to get things yesterday. Okay, what about carbs before marbs, your new beach diet? There's no implied benefit here. It's not offering you rock hard abs, but it's all about curiosity. It goes against everything I thought about carbs and diets, namely that they don't go together. And since most people wish they could eat more bread and more potatoes without piling on the pounds, it's a strong enough hook to drive people to pick up the magazine. I want to read more because I can't stand not knowing the implied secret here. What else? Okay, so 26 new tricks to erase aging. The word tricks hints at effortless, instant results involving very little work or pain. The word erase suggests quick results, and of course it's tapping into our fear of aging because we're all secretly a little bit vain, aren't we? Also, the number here makes it very specific, or ultra specific if we're using that 4U's framework. And finally, my favourite headline here, 32 ways to out-train your fitness DNA. This suggests a powerful life hack. There's that word hack again, like a trick or a shortcut, and it sounds kind of sciencey, which gives it that sniff of extra credibility. And if we were looking at this through the lens of our 4U's framework, it ticks a lot of boxes. It's useful, it's ultra specific, and the number makes it unique. I guess if you wanted to add urgency, you could have something like 3 ways to out-train your fitness DNA in just 2 hours. Because don't forget, your headlines, even though some of these are quite sensational, they have to be believable. You don't want to use clickbait in your headlines. So as you can see, most of these headlines are benefit-led while hinting at quick results with minimal effort. Because we're all secretly lazy couch potatoes who want to have our cake and eat it. So remember, these are key emotional hooks when you come to write your own headlines. Or better still, why don't you remodel these headlines for your own use? Switch some words around, change the topic, but keep the formula and the layout. See what you can come up with. And as a very quick aside, if you're still wondering how effective these headlines really are, check this out. It's the July cover from Men's Health from last year, and all the headlines are pretty much identical in terms of the formula and the layout. So they obviously work very well for the magazine. They're simple, they're formulaic, and they pack a punch. They help the magazine sell more copies. I hope you found that useful. See you in the next lecture. Hey friends, welcome to the Pocket Guide section of this course, a series of quick reference guides. Now think of this section a bit like pre-planning a workout. Now I don't know about you, but whenever I go to the gym, if I don't have a plan, I end up going, well, do I go on the spinning machine or do I go on the rower? Do I use the weights? Do I go for a swim? And I kind of end up losing momentum and not really achieving what I set out to. So if I have a plan, I'm a lot more likely to achieve my goal. And it's the same with writing. So this section is here to keep you on track. So next time you come to write an email sequence or a web page or a case study or anything like that, this section is here for you to refresh your memory and get you started. Now, I do recommend that you take the fundamentals section before you dive into any of these quick reference guides. If you just happen to have come across this course and you're quickly looking at these guides, do take that fundamental section, because those fundamentals are like the seeds for growing your copywriting garden, or the building blocks, the foundations for your copywriting career. Because once you have those nailed down and neatly embedded in your brain, then literally everything else becomes so much easier, because you're understanding the reasons why you're writing things, and your copy is just going to have a much greater likelihood of success. Welcome to my pocket guide on how to write press releases. Here you're going to learn how to write press releases that journalists love, and you're going to get a handy template that you can use again and again for your own projects. So let's get started. Okay, so what is a press release? A press or media release is an official announcement about something new or significant about a person or business. That's the guidebook definition. But what's the goal of a press release? Its goal is to get publicity for your business or your client's business, and sometimes a bit of improved SEO. But let's focus on its main objective in this lecture, which is to help your business get more coverage in the media and therefore get seen by more of your target customers. The problem is that many businesses, they don't know how to write good press releases. Ask any journalist and they'll tell you they are deluged with hundreds of badly written and irrelevant press releases every day, all of which get deleted instantly. So not only does your press release need to grab their attention in a crowded inbox, it's competing with potentially hundreds of other press releases. Which is why my first tip is to make sure your news is actually newsworthy. Can you imagine seeing your story on Twitter or Facebook or on one of your target websites? Is it something you would click and read? If the answer is no, chances are it may not be relevant enough to be a press release. But here's a handy filter that you can use to run your story through. Let's try it with a real example. Cloud solutions provider launches a new business telephone number. Now, to understand if it's newsworthy, ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Is the story new? Well, sort of, but not really. A new telephone number is new, but it's not really a new story. 2. Is there anything remarkable, weird, or dynamic about it? I don't think so, do you? And 3, can you imagine your customer talking about it in the pub? Definitely not. So I think it's fair to say that this story is definitely a non-starter. It's not newsworthy. Hopefully that gives you an idea how the filter works. Pro tip: what are your target websites and media writing about? Does your story fit the kind of stories they typically cover? Make sure to regularly read your target media. This is going to make you much better at understanding the kinds of press releases that will work for them. Tip 2, the 5 W's. Your opening line needs to summarise the entire story in 20 words or less. So that's the who, the what, the when, the why, and the where. Let me explain this with a copy mission. What I want you to do is see if you can find the 5 W's in the next opening line. So remember, that's the who, the what, the when, the why, and the where. Pause the video now and see if you can find them. Did you find them okay? Okay, so the who is Captain David Beckham. The what is that he opened his first football academy. The when is today. The why is because he's providing football training for up to 15,000 youngsters a year. And the where is in Greenwich, South East London. If you can crystallise your entire story into that first sentence just like this, you'll be off to a good start. Tip 3 is to write a strong headline. Headlines can mean the difference between success and failure. Let me tell you about the time I wrote this headline for a press release. The world's most luxurious piano, new British piano brand, fulfills design dreams of the super rich. I thought it was a pretty good headline, but you can guess what happened. This. Nothing. Complete silence. Nothing but tumbleweed. Nobody was interested in my story. It's fair to say it bombed. So I rewrote it using the 4U's headline formula. Remember that? When you use the 4U's headline formula, you need to make sure your headline is one of the following. It's either urgent, unique, ultra-specific, or useful. Now, I had some good numbers within my press release, so I used them to make my headline ultra-specific, and the new one read like this. Qatari sheikh buys £420,000 British piano studded with 500,000 Swarovski crystals. The exact same press release, just with the new headline, got covered by 70 different newspapers and websites and reached a worldwide audience of 2.5 million people. So it's worth spending a good amount of time writing your headline. Why not test it out on some friends and colleagues to get their feedback? Tip 4 is to be concise. So keep your press release to 300 to 400 words and no more than 4 paragraphs, 5 at a stretch. Don't write a 30-word sentence when a 10-word sentence will do. And avoid buzzwords, acronyms and jargon. And I know I'm banging on about this a little bit too much, but it's so important, especially in press releases. Tip 5 is to use bullet points and numbers. As for all copywriting formats, adding bullet points helps to add visual interest and numbers add credibility, so don't be shy with them. I hope that was useful. A quick note on formatting your press release. Now, press releases follow a well-defined format that simplifies the writing process. Here's a quick glance at how you should lay yours out in a moment. Don't forget you can download it in the resources, as well as some examples of press releases that you can use to inspire and guide your own. Here it is. So this is a classic press release template. In essence, a press release should consist of 3 to 5 paragraphs, providing all the relevant information a journalist needs. The most important information should be listed first, with the least important information in the final paragraph. Okay, let's quickly recap. You've just learnt how to decide whether your story is newsworthy, very important. You've learnt how to write press releases that journalists look forward to receiving. And you've learnt the 5W strategy for a winning first sentence. Next, if you've ever found writing press release quotes a bit of a nightmare, I know most people do, click on, because I'm about to demystify how to write really good press release quotes. See you there. Welcome back. How to write press release quotes that don't suck. If you've ever written a press release, did you include a quote? And if you did, was it something useful, or did you think of it as padding, something to fill out a bit of space? I know I've done that in the past. You'd be surprised how many people do this. But they're missing a trick, because knowing how to write good quotes instantly add colour and magic to your press releases and make them more effective. So here are 3 things you need to think about. 1, your quote should add insight and opinion. For instance, discussing the potential impact of your news. Don't use your quote to include facts and figures. That's the job of the main body of the press release, and it tends not to sound very natural. And 3, keep it conversational and natural. Because it's a quote, it needs to sound like someone really said it. So remember, write like you speak. And here's what not to do. 2 very common mistakes. The first one, we are delighted to announce the launch of our new branch. This is classic unnecessary padding, because nobody really cares that you are delighted. Remember, it's not about you, it's about them. It adds no value to the story. It's a classic Franken quote. Mistake 2. With over 50 teams based in 12 regions, we are the UK's leading force in blah, blah, blah. There are too many facts here, and it doesn't sound very human. You want human opinion. Okay, time for a copy mission. In a minute, I'm going to show you a quote, and what I want you to do is rewrite it, bearing in mind those 3 key points. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, let's compare notes. Let me show you my version. We're always looking for ways to make our customers and their furry friends happier, said Harry Smith, president at Woof Snacks Dog Foods. So we developed a way to produce personalised snacks to suit every size and breed of dog. See how it sounds more natural? It adds something extra, a human angle. Don't worry if yours isn't the same. Remember, your goal is to add a personal touch. If yours sounded more natural, well done. Oh yeah, and note how I also replaced the spokesperson with somebody more senior. So always try to use the most senior spokesperson available. You've just learned how to write really good press releases that are going to increase your chances for getting more publicity for you and your customers. So well done. And don't forget, you can download my handy template and some examples of press releases, which you can use to reverse engineer your own press releases. Next up, if you're eager to up your case study game, join me in the next lecture. I lay out my surefire tips for writing these lucrative and fun little copywriting projects. Come and join me. Hello! In the last lecture, you learned how to write press releases that get noticed. So let me tell you, you are way ahead of most other businesses out there now. Now, in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to sell and compel with powerful case studies. And I'm going to share with you a tried and tested formula that's going to make the writing process effortless. Plus, I'm going to share with you my exact questions that you need to ask your interviewee to craft a high quality case study. So let's dig in, shall we? So what is a case study and why are businesses so happy to pay good money for them? A case study describes how a company solved a challenge with a product or service and what the results of that looked like. In other words, and to put it more simply, a case study is a customer success story. And that success story can be written as a printed document, a web page, a brochure, even a video script or an infographic. And when businesses present their results as success stories, it helps them sell more products and services. So a case study is a sales tool for a business. And that's why good copywriters can charge anything between $500 to $1,800 per case study. So let's go through and build a case study together. You can also download the finished case study from the resources section at the end, which you can use as a template for all your own future case studies. Okay, our imaginary client is called Skylark Pianos. They make those self-playing pianos that you sometimes see in hotels and bars. One of their customers, let's call them Royal Hampton Hotel, has seen an increase in bar sales after installing one of these pianos. So they make an excellent case study for Skylark Pianos to present to other hotels. The first thing we need to do is set the context and introduce the customer. This is where you name the customer with a bit of background. It's just to set the scene, so about 50 words is fine, and you don't want to get bogged down in detail. My top tip for this is to swipe your description either from the company's LinkedIn profile or their website about page, and you should end up with something a bit like this. Royal Hampton is a collection of luxury hotels with 21 properties across England. Established in 1989 and with a turnover of £17 million, the business is now extending into Europe. Now you've set the context with the About section, let's turn to the handy formula I mentioned earlier. The formula goes like this. First of all, you need to lay out the challenge, then you need to provide the solution, and then you need to follow up with the results. And you can apply this formula to any type of case study format. So whether you're writing for print or web or video, this formula works for all of those. It works so well because it paints a picture of before and after. And people love those kind of before and after stories, like those home makeover shows where they show you the room before it's been done up and afterwards. People just really enjoy these kind of success stories. So let's go through this formula in a little more detail. First of all, we lay out the challenge. So what keeps the customer awake at night? What challenges were they facing before using the product or service? Keep this section to around 100 words over 2 to 3 paragraphs like this. Royalhampton wanted to increase bar sales at its flagship hotel in London. Manager John Smith was frustrated that sales were dropping. Customers were bypassing us in favour of the bar next door, he says. He knew music was a powerful customer draw, but needed something extra. When he discovered Skylark pianos, Smith jumped at the chance to try a self-playing piano. Now we've laid out the challenge, we're ready to step in with a solution like a knight in shining armour. Like this. We looked into buying a normal piano, but found hiring a professional pianist expensive and limiting, says Smith. When we learned that the piano could play 10,000 songs from an iPod, it meant we could entertain guests round the clock at no extra cost. The Skylark gives us the crowd appeal of a live piano with the flexibility of a jukebox, and it attracts more people into the bar, Smith continues. Your goal in the solutions section is to showcase the winning strategy, so don't be afraid to blow your trumpet. Again, keep it short and sweet to 2 to 3 paragraphs. Now we've set the context, we've described the challenge and the solution, it's time for the results. This is where you use concrete evidence to demonstrate the proof of the solution. 6 weeks after installing the piano, the hotel reported the following results. Sales of cocktails increased from 500 to 2,500 units a week, average spend increased by £4.70 per person, and an overall total of 450% increase in bar sales. See how I focused on numbers here? The more you can back up the results with data, the better your case study. So keep your conclusion to around 2 to 3 paragraphs and/or a punchy bullet point list like this. Okay, time for a copy mission. Now that you've completed your case study formula, what else do you think you might need for a successful case study? How about testimonials? Customer testimonials add insight and opinion to your case study. They add social proof. Just like when you're buying something online, you're going on Amazon or eBay, you tend to look at the reviews just to make sure that the seller is credible. Okay, so what I want you to do is write about 20 words as if John Smith, our hospitality manager, was giving us a testimonial. So pause the video now and write about 20 words for our customer testimonial. See you back here in a minute. Did you find that okay? Here's mine. The piano has given bar sales an incredible boost. We're getting more guests than ever and they're staying longer, often treating themselves to a second or third cocktail. Try to use the exact words and statements of your customer because it adds credibility. And always, if your interviewee isn't too shy, include a photo of them. People will trust your case study more if they can see a face behind the words. Time for some quick-fire case study tips. 1. Sometimes less is more, so aim for 500 to 800 words maximum. 2. Make it easy to read. Avoid huge chunks of text. 3. Add interest, visual interest with bullet points, numbered lists, bolded text, boxes and headers. 4. Use images. Try to steer clear of stock photos if you can. It's always a lot more effective if you can use photos of the actual product or service being used by real people. 5. Spend time on a really good headline, you know this by now. And 6. Always end your case study with a call to action. You need to tell people exactly what to do. So it could be to download more information, or it could be to pick up the phone and call you, or fill out an email form. And here is our finished Skylark Pianos case study. This is just to give you an example of how you might lay it out when you finish writing it. This one is intended to be printed on a double-sided sheet of A4, so it could be sent by email as a PDF, or it could be printed out to hand out at events. So don't forget, you can download this template at the end of the lecture yourself, and then you can overwrite it for your own projects. Now, If you're wondering, how do I get hold of all this information in the first place? You'll need to conduct an interview. So click on to the very, very short next lecture where I'm going to share with you my secret sauce questions. Good to see you back. The key to a really great case study is asking the right questions. So you'll probably need to conduct an interview with your customer. Now, in my own day-to-day work, I tend to do the interview over the phone because sometimes my customers are all over the world and it takes around half an hour. I type quite fast, so I can type as people talk, but there are other ways you can do it. You can either write the notes by hand if you're quite quick at handwriting, or you can ask the interviewee if it's okay to record the interview and then you can transcribe your notes later on. When you're looking to gather information, there are a few things you need to note before you start. So here are 3 quick pointers to guide you. 1. Always ask open-ended questions to avoid one-word answers. You don't want people just to give you a yes or a no answer. It's the death knell to a good case study. 2. Try to use the exact words and statements of your interviewee for added credibility. And 3, always try to probe for specifics using phrases such as, tell me more about that, or why was that surprising, or who benefits the most from this? Now, as I've said before, the key to a successful case study is in asking the right questions. So I have added my exact secret sauce questions into the resources. It'll save you tons of time. Feel free to download them, copy them and use them for your own case studies. I think you're going to find them super helpful. I wish that someone had given me these questions when I first started out, because I kind of had to find my way around to get these questions together. So download them and you should be good to go. Once you've conducted your interview, once you have all the answers to your questions, and you've typed up your notes and you're ready to go, it's time to examine that information and decide which category in our case study formula each piece belongs in. So remember, you want to introduce the customer in the About section, you want to highlight their challenge, then you want to showcase the solution, and then you want to demonstrate the results. I hope you found that useful and now feel confident about conducting your next case study interview. Okay, just to recap what you've learned in this entire case study lecture, you've learned how to write a sparkling case study that effectively sells a product or service. You've learned a handy, repeatable formula for crafting your case study quickly and easily. And you've now got the exact questions to ask your interviewee and a template that you can copy for your own case studies. Congratulations, you've just completed another epic lecture. So thank you so much for your attention and well done for all your hard work. Be sure to stick around for the next lecture if you've ever wondered how to get more people to open, read and act on your emails. See you there. Right, I want to show you some examples of some case studies that I really like that might inspire your own case studies. This one from a company called Kira Talent. One of their customers is obviously the University of South Wales. And what I like about this is it's very straightforward and it's very to the point and it's concise. As you will see, it follows our case study formula of background, challenge, solution, results. Each section is 2 to 3 sentences at most. There's lots of white space, so it's clear and it's great for skim readers. Also, you'll notice that the subheadings almost tell the story themselves. So it respects your time, and if you are a skim reader, you're going to quickly understand what Kira Talent did for the University of South Wales, rather than have to wade through the whole thing. Actually, you don't even need to wade through it all because it is really nice and simple. What else is good about it? I like the fact that it's got a good, strong testimonial here. If you click that, it would link to a video. Now, you probably don't have a video for your case studies, but I do recommend that you have a photo of the person that's speaking because it just gives credibility to your case studies. People are much more likely to trust a testimonial if they can see the person that said it. And of course, it has an excellent, strong call to action at the bottom of the page, so you know exactly what to do next, and that's to contact them. All in all, really nice case study. I also like this page of case studies from a company called Localytics. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, they obviously have a bank of case studies. So what they've done is they've collated them onto one page, kind of created an index of them. And they've cleverly pulled together the two bits from each case study that they know most people want to read. And that's the story, the headline, what the case study is about, and then the results. You can see that here. So even if you weren't going to click into one of them to find out more, you would understand what they did for that company and what results they got for them. So again, it respects the reader's time. They've very much focused on numbers and data. I also like up front, they've kind of collated all the numbers, they've combined all the numbers, and you think, these guys, these are big numbers, they know what they're doing. It adds instant credibility. And then if I do click one that grabs my fancy, I get taken to a nice PDF. And again, this follows our case study formula. So the company, the challenge, the solution, and the results. And a nice testimonial just here. No photo with this one. However, it is a really nice case study that focuses on numbers and it's quite succinct. Again, a real positive. I hope that was useful. 2 strong examples. Don't forget you can download the template and the resources and overwrite it for your own projects. Okay, see you in the next lecture. Welcome to my handy pocket guide on how to write emails. Here you're going to learn how to beat the inbox odds and avoid that dastardly delete button. Better still, you're going to learn how to get people to click, read, and act upon your emails. By the end of this lecture, you are going to know the secret to writing stunningly successful emails. You're going to have 5 proven tips to get more open clicks and sales, and you're going to have 2 simple but powerful formulas you can use for every email you will ever write again. So let me ask you a question. When you're going through your emails, and I bet if you're like most people, you get dozens of the things, which ones do you open and which ones do you delete? This is our first hurdle as copywriters, standing out in an overcrowded inbox. And the key to doing this is to offer something of value or to communicate in a fresh, personal, or engaging way. So my first tip is to get personal. Think of emails like having a conversation. So always address your reader by name. Share some common ground if possible. And what I mean by that is if you can reference previous conversations you've had or something that your reader may have told you before, like about a holiday, you could say, how was your holiday? It's just something to show that you remember this person and therefore that you value them. It's not always possible, but if it is, go for it. Write for one person. Remember, as I said before, try not to sound like you're writing to lots of people. So instead of writing those of you, just write you. You want people to feel like you're just writing for them. Use a conversational tone. You know that well by now. And of course, that means being direct and using the word you a lot, as I've just said. Tip 2 is to spend time writing a really good subject line. Now, your subject line is your headline. And so, of course, it's ridiculously important, but never more so than in a very, very overcrowded inbox. So, another question for you. When your inbox is groaning under the weight of emails, which ones do you open first? Yep, me too. The ones from friends, family, and people I know. And that's because they're not trying to sell to you generally. They're often descriptive, and you know what you're going to get inside the email, and they don't include buzzwords or jargon, and they kind of get to the point, don't they? So here are some examples. Things like this. My new website is live. What do you think? Pizza making on Saturday? Oh my God, I got the job. Or inspirational photos I handpicked for you today. Here are some quick subject line tips for you. 1, use simple language. Keep it short and descriptive. Avoid spammy words like sale, help, or percent. And don't use cheesy lures that don't deliver in the email. And what I mean by cheesy lures is clickbait, by which I mean people get all excited when they read the subject line and they click open the email only to find that it doesn't deliver what they were promised in the subject line. Tip 3, formulas. Remember those copywriting formulas you learned earlier in the course? Now, these are scientifically proven ways to structure your emails to increase reader engagement. What's not to love? Now, I find formulas more effective generally than email templates. Templates can be quite restricting, so I'm just warning you to slightly beware of them. Because they don't tend to account for your specific audience or topic, whereas a formula is elastic. You can mould and shape it to whatever you're writing for, whoever you're writing for. Here's an example of an email using the PAS formula from a recruitment agency. Dear Christina, are you struggling to find the right staff? That's the pain. Then I agitate it. I know how hard and time consuming it can be to find good people to grow your business. And then I'm ready there with the solution. We have a track record for unearthing top talent in your sector and a long list of candidates ready to talk to you today. This works particularly well because people will do almost anything to avoid pain. Time for a copy mission. In the next email, I've used the AIDA formula. I'm just going to remind you what that is. AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So you want to grab your reader's attention, you want to stoke their interest, you want to make them desire what you've got, then spark them to action. Pause the video and note down where I've used the formula in the following copy. How did you get on? Okay, here's the formula in action. Let's run through it quickly together. So I'm grabbing the reader's attention by saying, we can create the garden of your dreams for less than the cost of a weekend break. Then I'm stoking their interest by saying, imagine your garden redesigned by award-winning landscapers, a stunning space to relax and entertain, all without breaking the bank. And then I'm using desire to make them feel a bit of FOMO, a bit of fear of missing out. Over 50 homes in your area are now the envy of their neighbours, enjoying beautiful gardens, increased curb appeal and an increase in house value. So I'm demonstrating some really fantastic benefits that the customer might get from buying this. And finally, it gives me an action to take. My call to action. Interested? Call us today for a no obligation quote. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel every time you write an email. Use one of the formulas and it's going to make what you're doing a lot easier and it's going to increase your chances of getting a response. Tip 4, keep it concise. Long emails don't get read. That is a fact. So be generous, as I always say, and keep it short. Long emails, they tend to frustrate and annoy your reader. So just don't go there. Here's a good exercise for you. In your next email, can you say what you need to say in 3 sentences or 150 words or even less? It's not always going to be possible, but it's an exercise that will help you. It'll teach you to get to the point quicker and avoid waffling. And as you practice, you will get better, I promise you. Tip 5, be useful. If you're sending an email to stay in touch with someone or build a long-lasting relationship, like a newsletter, then you're more likely to flag down their attention if you offer something useful. Copyblogger calls it cookie content. Whatever you do, make your reader glad that he or she took the time to open, read, and digest your email like a delicious cookie. Pro tip: If you ask 10 people how to write emails, you'll probably get 10 different answers. That's because copywriting, it's a social science. It's based on humans, and there are hundreds of variables. So my advice, don't get yourself in a tangle. Don't get too hung up on things like the ideal subject line length or the best time of day to send your emails. Just test and practice and see what works best for your audience. I've got 3 bonus quick fixes for you, which are going to take your emails up to another level. Now, first of all, add a clear call to action. You know that already. But what I want you to do is add it at least twice, and if not 3 times, if you can. Don't rely on people to just see your call to action at the bottom of the email. If you can place it a few times within the email, you're going to encourage them to click it and take it. 2, use your PS. This is a good place to repeat your call to action or to add some urgency. So you could put, PS, you've only got 24 hours to grab this deal, don't miss it. That sort of thing. If you want more people to open your email, it's much better to send it from a real person, a real name, rather than a company. So from James Bond would be much better than from the British Secret Service. Okay, let's recap what you've just learned in this epic lecture on emails. You've learned that personalising your emails is the secret to attracting and keeping your readers' attention. You've learned 5 tips to get more opens, clicks, and ultimately sales. And you've learned to use the PAS or AIDA formula to increase your chances of getting the response you want. Why not start using what you've learned in your next email? The more you practice, the easier and the more intuitive it will become. Thank you so much for listening. Now, if you're looking to improve your website copywriting skills, hop on over to the next chapter and I'll see you there. I hope you enjoyed the previous pocket guide on how to write emails that get clicked, read, and opened. Now, whether you're an aspiring copywriter, marketeer, or business owner, understanding how to connect with your target audience through your website is absolutely crucial. So in this lecture, I'm going to share with you the secret to writing truly persuasive web copy, 8 proven tips and tricks for converting more visitors, and a checklist for making your copy more audience friendly. Let's start with the secret to truly persuasive web copy. Actually, it's a very simple concept, but one that's often overlooked. And the answer, the secret, is clarity. Because when it comes to web copy, it's essential that people understand exactly what you're trying to communicate. If your website is confusing, if it's full of jargon or complex language or just way too much copy that people have to wade through, if they don't understand what the website is about, ultimately, they are not going to buy from you. They're just going to go somewhere else. People are busy and they're impatient. So you've got to make what you're selling through your copy absolutely crystal clear. And here for you are 6 practical ways that you can achieve ultimate clarity. Tip 1. Always write for your target customer. This is where your persona comes in really handy. And don't forget, you can grab yourself a refresher on that in the fundamentals section. So, writing for your specific customer has 2 benefits. 1, it helps you shape your copy to their exact needs. Remember, you want to write to their passions and their pain points. And it also helps you write in a way that's going to be more absorbing and compelling to your reader. Remember, if you write for everyone, you end up writing for no one. Tip 2, be a problem solver. It's really helpful to remember that when your customer is browsing the internet, they have a specific question in their heads. If you think about it, when you're Googling for something, you're thinking things like, how do I reduce my energy bills? Or why am I not getting more email subscribers? Or where can I find the best pizza? That sort of thing. So once you know your customer and the questions that they're likely to be asking, you can anticipate those questions and present them in your copy as a problem and solution, like this. Want to reduce your energy bills? We can help. Not getting enough email subscribers? We can solve that problem. Worried about damp in your house? We'll get rid of it completely. Also, posing questions in your web copy forces people to answer them in their heads, which helps to increase engagement and keeps people reading. Tip 3, get to the point. You've got about 3 seconds to grab people's attention when they land on your website. So avoid waffling and make your point. In fact, get your most important information right at the top of your copy. Because if you're not quick to grab people, they'll be off. So give them the good stuff straight away. Tip 4, don't be vague. Try to avoid using broad brush statements and generalities. Remember, what you want to do is paint vivid pictures in the minds of your reader by using detail and specifics. So instead of writing, "We are a graphic design agency," you could write, "We design beautiful brochures that help charities attract more funding." So it's just a lot more specific. Instead of writing, "We do social media marketing," you could write, "We find and create outstanding content, then post it to your social media feeds so you don't have to." Can you see how this makes your copy jump out more for the reader? People want specifics. Remember that. Tip 5, focus on features and benefits. Those good old features and benefits that you know very well by now. Everyone knows this example for the iPod. Instead of writing, "This iPod has storage for 1 GB of MP3s, they simply wrote, 1,000 songs in your pocket. So start by listing all the important features of what you're selling, then translate each of those features into a benefit. Remember how to do that is to keep asking, so what? So what? So let me refresh your memory on that. These shoes feature a waterproof, breathable sole. That's a feature. So what? These shoes keep your feet dry and healthy. So what? Feel comfortable on your feet all day long, rain or shine. The secret is to remember it's not just the physical product people want to buy, it's what their life will be like with that product. So these shoes have got a waterproof sole is a tangible fact, but it's going to mean that that person is going to feel comfortable all day long in any kind of weather. Okay, I think it's about time for a copy mission. What I want you to do is have a look at the following product description. As you can see, it lists the features about this sofa, the Lomax 3-seater sofa. It's available in 8 colours, it's available in dark and light, comes with foam-filled seat cushions and optional scatter cushions. Very boring, very factual. Have a go at writing for me a benefit-led description, a paragraph of text of around 50 words. Pause the video now, see you back here in a second. Okie dokie, how did you get on? Here's my effort. Choose one of 8 colours to create an outstanding statement piece for any room. Foam-filled cushions offer cosy, deep seats for ultimate comfort. Plus, a choice of light or dark feet and stylish scatter cushions add a personal twist to this classic style. Did you manage to put something like that together? If you did, well done. Always try to back up every feature with at least one solid benefit in your copy and weave them together. Interlink them as much as you can. I hope that was a useful exercise. Tip 6 is to use the right language. Short and simple beats clever and creative every time. You cannot oversimplify your web copy, friends. Imagine you're writing for school children. That's the level you should be aiming at. Keep it conversational. Think about some sites that you love, some websites that you enjoy reading. What is it about the way they're written that grabs you? Pay attention to what they do well and follow suit. Don't be afraid to show some personality. Showing a bit of a personal voice can go a long way if you're looking to stand out a bit. And remove jargon and buzzwords. You know that by now. 5, use the word you a lot. Now, if I was going to summarise this slide, I would say when you're writing your copy, just keep imagining that you're talking to that friend in the coffee shop. And when you do that, you're automatically going to tick all these boxes. Tip 7 is to make your copy audience friendly. You can have really fantastic copy, but if you don't format it correctly, you can run into real problems. So, top load your copy with the most important information first. Write for skimmers, for skim readers, with plenty of headings and subheadings. Keep your paragraphs to 4 sentences or less, and keep your sentences to around 12 words or less. Rambling sentences are a big no-no. Include links to other pages and resources on your site and around the web, and always tell your reader exactly what to do. Tip 8 is to check for typos and errors. Now, this is where I personally really struggle with, because sometimes I'm so caught up with writing something that I completely miss typos. And what happens is on a website is your website stands out like the really ugly house on the street, and it makes your business look shoddy and unkempt. And nobody really wants to do business when your house or your business looks untidy. So be sure to check everything carefully. I often employ a freelance proofreader just to make sure that all my copy is spick and span and looking good. A quick note on SEO. Let's be honest here, friends. We all want our websites to get listed in the search engines and for Google to send us traffic. But honestly, the best possible thing that you can do as a marketing and sales copywriter is to write for your reader first and worry about the search engine second. Because the funny thing is, the more you write with your target customer in mind and the more helpful you can be to them, the more likely you are to appeal to Google's algorithms. So follow best SEO practice and always use the language of your target customer. Not only does this help you connect with them, but Google likes it too. Include internal links to relevant content on your site and across the web, and add clear call to actions, share buttons and signposting so your readers always know exactly what to do next. If in doubt, just keep asking, how can I be more helpful? How can I help my readers get more of what they want or less of what they want? This is the natural way to write web copy that ticks all the boxes. And I promise, if you have this mindset, it's going to serve you well. Okay, let's quickly wrap up this lecture on web copy with a quick summary. You've learned that clarity is the secret to ultra persuasive web copy. You've learned 8 tips and tricks for converting your target customer, and you've learned to always be answering your customers' questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lecture. Okay, I wanted to do a quick video on web copywriting. By now you know the importance of knowing exactly who you're writing for in your copy, because when you know that person inside out, you know what problems and challenges they have, and you can provide them with the answers that they're looking for. Because whenever anyone is on the internet, remember, they're looking for solutions. Like these people at Shopley, they're obviously targeting retailers. Notice how the first thing they do on their homepage is to lay out some pretty frustrating scenarios. As a retailer, you're dealing with a barrage of data. The sheer volume of data and the complexity in connecting them together can be a daunting task. By presenting these typical problems back to the reader, your reader is going to know that you understand them and they're more likely to trust and listen to your solution. If I was a retailer, I'd be nodding my head furiously at this point and ready to click here for the solution. So when you're writing your copy, find out what your reader is struggling with and become a problem solver. I really like this example from Acuity Scheduling. They're clearly targeting stressed out, time-starved business owners. And what they do is they reflect the typical challenges of their customer back to them as a series of post-it notes. Not only is it a great way to visually represent all these daily frustrations, but the language they use really helps to stir up the emotional pain. Spend 5,000 years going back and forth with clients. Manually juggle multiple calendars. Nervously stumble through that first client call. It has the effect of making me feel the pain of those daily challenges. So when I scroll down the page, I'm 100% ready for their answer. One post-it note, one easy solution. Book more clients, get paid on time. Both of these examples, both Shopley Labs and Acuity, showcase the PAS formula in action. Remember, that's where you lay out the problem, you agitate it as much as possible, then you provide the solution, just as your customer is crying out for salvation. Another way you can be a problem solver is to reflect your readers' questions back to them when they land on your site. Like M Help Desk does here. Tired of doing things the old way? That's because they know their potential customers are looking for a better way. That's what brought them to the site after all. And questions in your copy are just a great idea all round when you're writing for the web, because it stops sentences and headlines from being passive statements, and they demand interaction from your reader. You can't help but mentally answer questions when you read them. Check out this page from Ben & Jerry's. Got a question about, looking for help with, want to share your thoughts on? When you read a question, your brain starts to engage with the copy and you're more likely to continue reading. So questions act a bit like a hook in your copy, and they are a very handy tool to have in your web copywriting kit. They also have the added benefit of making your copy more conversational. My next tip is about getting to the point. Now let me ask you a question. What is Wikipedia? What I want you to do is pause the video and either write down what Wikipedia is or say it out loud. Imagine someone's asked you to describe what Wikipedia is. Join me back here in a minute. How did you get on? Now, when I tried this exercise on myself, I said something like, well, it's like an internet encyclopedia. It's supported and hosted by a non-profit foundation. It's free and anyone can edit it, and it's blah, blah, blah. And this is what a lot of brands do when they are describing themselves. They end up rambling and not getting to the point quick enough, and people just lose interest. So if I scroll to the top of the page and I see how Wikipedia describe themselves, I get this: the free encyclopedia that anyone can edit. It says exactly what I just tried to, but in as few words as possible, which makes it much more engaging and much more interesting, and it's more likely to grab your reader's attention. My final example is features and benefits. Now, you know about these by now, especially if you took the fundamentals section. You'll have a really good understanding of the importance of focusing on benefits over features. And I wanted to show you this out in the real world. So let's take a look at this page here. This is a company called Tesla Suit, and they make virtual reality suits. I don't think they're anything to do with the car Tesla, by the way. So let's imagine you're in the market for a virtual reality suit and you come across this and you see the features. So it has 14 motion capture sensors. It has onboard data processing. It has an avatar system and various other things. Now, what do these actually mean? I'm thinking, okay, whatever, so what? I have no idea what they are, and so I can't see the benefits to me. So I would probably go to another company selling virtual reality suits because I can't immediately see the benefits to me. Now check out how Sprint Business lists the features and then clearly explain what the results will be of using those features. So it has mobile forms, which mean you can boost productivity and delight your customers. It has a workforce locator, which means you can see all your people in one place in real time. Can you see what I mean? If people wrote only about features, then they wouldn't understand what results they're going to get out of it. Check out this website for Trello. I've actually doctored this, so it doesn't look like this in reality. Trello is a web-based project management application. What the hell does that mean? And then it says, a rich API as well as email-in capability enables integration with enterprise systems or with cloud-based integration services. Well, I'm left thinking I have no idea whatsoever what this is, what it can do for me. But if I refresh the page and take it back to how it actually was written, it's benefit-led. Trello lets you work more collaboratively and get more done. Trello's boards, lists and cards enable you to organise and prioritise your projects in a fun, flexible and rewarding way. So now I can instantly see how this is going to make my life better. Okay, I hope that was a useful peek over my shoulder video. I hope to see you in the next lecture. You've done it! You have finished the complete copywriting course. Congratulations, well done. I hope you're feeling over the moon with your progress. It is absolutely fantastic that you are now at this point in your journey. And I hope you're feeling confident and motivated and encouraged to get started on your own now. As always, I would love to hear any feedback you have about the course. I'm always looking to improve it, and I would just love to know more about you and why you took this course and what you got out of it. So please don't hesitate to contact me. You can do that through the Udemy dashboard. I would love to hear from you. And before you go, I'm just going to quickly summarise a few of the key points from this course. Thank you again so much for your attention. I have really enjoyed teaching you all these exciting things. Bye bye.